It's just fun.
But the Knicks have done nothing, and why?
No, it's nothing to do with the Knicks. It could have been the
Knicks
Orlando
fans
Magic.
are annoying. New York fans are annoying.
For me, for some reason, and you're right, Knicks have done nothing. There's all that stuff, right? They're up 6 with like 30 seconds, under 30 seconds to go. They're showing star after star, former athlete, and then they're all stunned that they're going to overtime. Like, I feel a little better.
Yeah, I just like watching teams lose. That's just fun. Like, if it's not my if there was a way for both teams to lose on a given night, I'd choose that. That would be fun.
I think I fall where Emily fell. They're just a little annoying.
Okay, but also Philly fans are annoying. So again,
Yeah,
why can't both teams lose? But Philly fans, Knicks fans, New York, basically that mid-Atlantic region, I have had to deal with my entire life, and they suck.
All of them. Yeah. All of them.
We're going to see how Miami,
Yeah, here comes that lady. She's coming in hot here in a second.
Miami's the city of rental cars.
Yeah, this was from when they won a game a couple of years ago along the way.
Miami's the city of rental cars.
That's a great
and
line.
Plastic surgery.
surgery.
I don't even know what the knock is there, but I like it already.
Yeah, you do. In the back of your mind, you do. It means nobody's from there. It's all transplants. It's all people that came from somewhere else that are there to empty their pockets and then go back to Kansas. That's what it means.
Like LA.
I thought of you.
A lot like LA.
I thought of you last night. I know. It's an interesting start to a conversation.
No, that's okay.
I thought of you last night. Do you know why I thought of you last night?
You watched the NFL's Most Vicious Hits with Lady Sleep?
Fernando Mania.
No.
George Brett.
No.
Okay.
Tacos.
None of these. Not at all. You know why I thought about it?
Jennifer Connelly.
You went walking.
Did, but didn't think about it. Not his fault. I just didn't think about it.
We can honestly keep guessing for the next 10 minutes. Okay, go on.
And I don't even have to tell you guys now. I could tell you guys.
No, tell me now. You've piqued my interest.
I thought of Travis because I did something yesterday I don't usually do. Bro, I was in bed by 9:30.
Let's go. Awesome.
Living the life, man.
Yeah.
9:30. I'm like, I'm
Can
done.
I take a guess?
I shut it down.
Can I take a guess?
Sure.
I bet you feel pretty good this morning.
I texted Michelle this morning. We were doing some of our prep. Right when we finished, I texted her. I'm like, I feel so good today.
Of course you do. You got a good night's sleep.
I went to bed so freaking early. At 9:30, it was lights out.
Here's something.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
That probably happens once a year. So, like, I'm not following it up with another 9:30 today. It's just not going to happen. Like, my body won't allow it. But
I understand
yesterday, it probably just was, you got obviously the Lakers season. You're up late on all that stuff.
Your schedule, for sure.
It was like 9:15, and I'm like, I can't keep my eyes open. I don't know what the hell is happening here. I couldn't keep my eyes open.
So as you get a little older, it comes, there's a lot of bad stuff that comes with aging, but there are some good things that come with it as well.
You would know.
Namely, experience and understanding what brings you true joy and what is going to make you feel good, both mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Okay.
Going to bed early is one of those things.
Good night.
That it's just that you used to be, if I get this car and I get this house and I go, it kind of comes and it kind of goes, right? It's this, that, and the other thing. Oh, if I meet this person or if I get to go to this game, it's fun. It's same, but it comes and it goes. But if good dinner, good night's sleep, being left alone, a hobby that you enjoy, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 really good friends. You don't need 50 friends. I got 4 that I can count on.
Yeah,
I got 5 that I can count on.
Movie you can go back and rewatch.
Something that you love, a book, just the simplest things, just a chair that I sit in that chair, I'm going to be pretty comfortable. It's those little teeny things. With your shoes, if I like shoes, you may not. But just finding the thing that makes you happy and sleep for me.
Yeah.
Going to bed before you see 4 digits on that clock is a game changer.
Listen to me. It wasn't even one of those where I was like trying to force myself to go to sleep. If I was in bed by 9:27, 9:30, I was out.
You were done.
I don't remember anything.
Feels good, doesn't it?
I woke up this morning and I'm like, I don't know what day it is. Is it game 3 tonight?
You're so well rested.
I had no idea what was going on.
Oh
ever
my gosh.
feel like you overslept when you feel very well rested? Like that you're like, oh my
Okay.
God, it's like
Perfect.
it's 8 a.m. I'm supposed to be at work by now.
I didn't feel that, but there are times where you feel like you could feel really groggy if you got too much sleep.
Yep.
I didn't feel any of that.
Nope, you got the
felt none of that.
correct amount.
Correct amount.
It is a good start.
was
Roars
16
to you,
hours.
Em.
Roars.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. You know what happened to me yesterday? I took a nap, right? And I woke up, 7 something?
Do you
And
take a
then-
nap with the baby?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
He put me bassinet. I'm scared I might hit him or something.
Yeah.
But I woke up panicking, like, oh, my
Wait,
phone.
7 p.m.?
7 p.m. And Brenda's
It's
like,
a late nap.
And Brenda's like, you okay? You okay, dude? Like, he's like, you okay? I'm like, why? He's like, you're not going to work. It's barely 7 p.m. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I have this mindset of I gotta get ready to go to work. I'm pro nap when the nap calls to you.
Yeah.
Right? Not like the scheduled one.
Align.
It's just like, hey, I'm going to sit down and there's nobody home, for instance. And this is 90% of how naps happen in my life. There's nobody home. I sit down on the couch for a second and it just happened. And I wake up and it's a half an hour later and you feel
It's the dad
refreshed.
nap.
It's the dad nap. It's on. The worst version of the nap is you fall asleep when it's daylight and you wake up when it's dark, because now you're just totally screwed up because am I supposed to be going? Because when I wake up in the morning to come to work, it's still dark outside. So I'm thinking, do I need to get to work? And then you look, it's like, no, it's 8:15 at night, dummy. You're
And
fine.
now you can't sleep.
And now you can't go back to sleep for the night, and now you're thrown off for the whole thing. It's a lot.
So what time did you actually go to bed?
1:30. So 3 digits on the clock. 3 digits still on there.
This
What's
guy
1:30?
turned the other corner on the 3 digits.
It makes me a little
Exactly.
queasy just hearing that.
I wouldn't be able to because only the time that you fell asleep, right?
Right, but
how long did you nap for?
I would say 5:30 to 7.
Bro,
So, like 2.5
I
hours?
can't do that. If I get an hour and a half in, I'm done.
Like, our schedules are a little wacky right now because of the baby.
The baby,
yeah, yeah,
the
that's
baby.
right, that's right.
That's what I asked you when you said take it, but not like the baby in the bed with you, but rather like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah,
the
when
baby's
he's-
asleep. I'm going to
for
close
sure.
my eyes for a few
sure.
minutes. Yeah, you sleep when they sleep, so you don't go insane. It's kind of the only option right there.
I'm going to text you anytime I'm shutting it down around 9:30. I'm going to text you knowing that you're not going to text me back because you're already
I'll see it in the
asleep.
morning.
Yeah, you're already asleep.
It's funny. I'll always when I wake up in the morning, like I think probably just about all of us, go to the shower. But once I'm out of the shower, the first thing I check, did anybody call me? Did anybody text me when I went to sleep? Mm-hmm. Inevitably, I've missed 5 or 6 texts, and it's always after 10 o'clock, and my group texts from different people, they're still going, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Good night, guys.
I can catch up on
night,
those
everybody.
a little bit later. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. I didn't see the end of the Dodger game last night because the Sandman came and got me at some point, and that was that. So I had to go and get caught up right there because the game started 2 hours late because the Bees took over Chase Field. I don't know why it took them 2 hours to get that rectified. Mm-hmm. I've had a situation in my life when my oldest son was 9 or 10. I forget what it was. He had a Little League game. And the game's being played or it's just about to start. And all of a sudden, we notice there's a swarm of bees on the top of the backstop, not unlike what you saw at in the Dodger game last night. Maybe it's slightly smaller, but same idea. And everybody's like, okay, it's dangerous. You got to be careful. And so somebody called the city. The city had somebody out there within the half an hour easily, right? Dude comes out, got a long ladder, puts it up against the backstop, goes up there with his can of smoke or whatever it is they spray on the bees to get him to chill out. He's got a long glove. He didn't have like the beekeeper suit like the guy last night at the Dodger game had. He didn't have the mask or any of those things. He had a long glove. He reaches into the pipe, gets the queen, I'm assuming, puts it in a little cage or box or whatever it is you put the queen in, takes down the ladder, walks away with the queen, the bees disperse, and Little League resumes. And the whole thing from the time the swarm was noticed to the time the 9-year-olds were back on the field, it was an hour tops.
Wow.
And it probably wasn't even an hour. I would think that Major League Baseball would be able to get it done quicker than the city of Laguna Niguel.
No, city of Laguna Niguel. They got it covered. By the way, we all, and I think everybody has, growing up in El Cajon, there was always like, once a year there's like a beehive somewhere around in one of the trees, something like that. I didn't realize I was allergic to bees.
Like, what's your reaction?
I think I'm allergic to bees. I just remember getting stung one time, and my arm was like as swollen as can possibly be, and I went to the doctor's office. I think I was like facing this way.
Yeah.
Like, what are you here for? And I turned, and it's like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? But I think we. I turned this way, and I was like trying to, play it cool, and I turned the left
You have
side.
a Hulk arm.
Literally, it was like, I don't know, it was the size of a freaking
Do you carry an
football.
EpiPen?
No.
Okay, so you're not like lethally allergic to them.
No, I don't think so. Or if I am, then we'll find out.
Emily, go catch a bee and let it loose in the studio. Let's see what happens if Slee gets stung.
We'll do it for the bit.
I'm too calm around bees where I don't think
they don't bother you.
You know how people
a swarm's kind of scary.
Well,
okay.
Well, of course it is, but this is the mistake people make with bees. The mistake they make is they start swiping at them, and now the bee is like, I'm basically in survival mode. I'm trying to. I got somebody attacking me. I got no choice but to sting. Yeah, just don't swing at the bee.
Yeah, just leave them alone.
So my parents probably, if they're listening, can correct me about what age I was, but I felt like I was 5 or 6. And I was having, for some reason, my birthday party at not our house, but like somebody else's house, our family friend's house. Because I think they had a big house, so like they were allowing us to have it. So I was having all of my friends at that age over. And
how old are you?
I think I was 5 or 6.
Okay.
So maybe 7 at the most.
Kid.
So I was getting a like an art set given to me by my parents. They're like, oh, here's your big present. And it's a beautiful little art set. I think I still honestly have it at my house. And so they're giving it to me. And as this is happening, my friends are jumping up and down the porch. Little did we know there is a beehive underneath the porch. Oh, beehive comes up, attacks me, and I'm just like covered in bee stings. And thankfully I'm not allergic. And I'm crying, and it's really sad. But then I realized that the day turns around because my parents had gotten this big Costco chocolate cake. And then I was like, okay, the whole day's better. And I got chocolate cake from Costco, and I'm covered in bee bites. So that's my bee story.
A bee sting hurts a lot. Like, it's one of those things that you think of like, okay, yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's more than uncomfortable. It really hurts for a long time, and it aches, and it swells, and it's itchy, and all those things. I've never had more than one at a time. Did you? How many did you have? Like, what, 10, 12, 50?
Somewhere like that. Again, I was pretty young, but I do know that it was more than one. And I was crying, and I was overwhelmed. But again, I had that triple chocolate cake, and I was all good.
Look, there aren't too many things that triple chocolate cake don't make better.
Yeah, listen, you fall if you're 5 and you fall off your bike and you just jack up your arm and the left side of your face, and they give you a popsicle, you're like, I'm good.
That doctor, when you showed him your arm that was malformed.
Give me a Jolly Rancher or a...
Here's a Hershey bar, kid.
Yeah, here you go. Here's some s'mores. Knock yourself out.
You know, I'm not a fan of those.
S'mores? You know, it's funny. I like the chocolate part. I like the marshmallow part. I don't like graham crackers, so you can miss me with s'mores.
So you're saying you give them s'mores take a long you don't just have s'mores at the ready.
Well, if you're prepared, you are.
No, but you have to have a bonfire. You don't just have... S'mores are a whole
that's
vibe.
the right way to do it.
You're not at the doctor's office and have a s'more.
You never know. You go to the wrong doctor.
Call in if you've had a doctor give you a s'more. Like, that is the most ridiculous snack to say.
Guy's got a little campfire in the corner of the exam room. The coat hangers made all straight.
Okay, so s'more Pop-Tart, I will believe you. S'mores?
You never know. You never know. LeBron is tweeting. People are reporting. And the Lakers have a lot of decisions to make. But, Slee, tell me if I'm wrong here. We already know exactly what they're going to do, don't we? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
ESPN. I bees in the trap, bees in the trap. I bees in the trap, bees in the trap.
I want to welcome Emily to P2, by the way.
Oh, speaking of, did you do that on purpose?
No, I did it because I am trying to be a P2 person now.
No, I get that, but did you do the specific thing on purpose?
Is that your spot?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know it was your spot. I had no idea that was your spot.
I park in the same spot every single day.
Not anymore.
You wouldn't be able to be a P2.
On P2, it's nothing but empty spots.
Yep.
The entire second level is unoccupied.
Close to the elevator, by the way.
Guess who is in the one spot that I park in every day? By the way, I laughed out loud. I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny. Like you took the one spot that I like.
Is it the one where you have to go around and then you have it as your
So you know where the elevator is?
Yep. It's closest to the elevator,
but
then it's
three
the
to the
lane.
left. I pull through.
Okay.
So all I have to do is go left, right, out.
Right.
She's in my spot, but she's nosed in, so she's going to have to back out. She did it wrong, but she took the right spot.
That used to be my spot until somebody took it.
What's funny when I do it to somebody else.
People to go to P2. They'll take your
It's funny
spot.
when I do it to somebody else. I did notice that she was in P2 today. I got a lot of questions here. We're going to get to LeBron and his tweets and the Lakers' actions thereof. Emily just sent us a picture of the inside of her refrigerator, and she tagged it with, I've got a Greg Bergman refrigerator. Greg doesn't know how to feed himself as an adult, and he has an empty refrigerator and eats
Granted,
out
she
all the
just
time.
moved, so she has
Emily
an alibi
cooks.
here.
And,
I just moved.
Yeah.
I don't have gas.
I
so I
understand
cannot cook anything.
why
and
it's empty.
I am low on money.
Yeah. Okay. I get all of that. I'm not like, I know this isn't how you live your life, but what's in this is curious to me. Number one, can't help but notice there's a bottle of Aquafina, which you couldn't throw more shade at me for yesterday.
It was the only thing available at the gas station that I was at. I do not have a what's it called when you filter the water?
Pitcher, a Brita
I don't
pitcher?
have a Brita yet, and so I had to get water at the gas station, and that's the only thing available.
And she's got a little box of fruit, which looks very good. And there's some sliced cheese. I can't tell what's in those Tupperwares underneath the cheese.
It's like ham and turkey.
Okay, so you got some cold cuts.
Yes.
And then at the bottom, it looks like there's a bag of maybe
salad,
broccoli or
couple
It's salad bag.
salad bag. Then, and this is my favorite part of this. Hold on, let's see. That's 16. There's 19 cans of Coors Banquet beer. Not one or two.
Yeah.
There are 19 cans of Coors Banquet beer. I didn't know you were a closet banquet beer fan because I love banquet beer.
I think Coors Banquet is really great. It keeps Southern California chill all season long. But I do think that Coors Banquet is of the lighter beers.
Yes.
American lighter beers. I really like them.
It's a crowd pleaser too.
Exactly. So they're left over from a party that I had where almost no one drank them because all my friends are freaking gluten free, and I didn't realize, and I wanted to have the gluten full fans
I know, it's so funny.
be served. So there's a lot there.
You know what? You're like if I did not know who lived in this apartment,
Yeah.
and I just walked in and opened the fridge, I'm like, well, a 64-year-old Teamster lives here.
The Poppy would give me away as
Well,
being
yeah,
a
the
girl.
Poppy is he had a girlfriend over that wanted the Poppy. This is ham and cheese and banquet beer.
Hey, gotta blame SoCal Gas for not having me have gas. Otherwise, and I also just realized I probably should have been using my Instapot because I have that. I can cook things with Instapot, but. Yeah, I'm living on rations right now.
Greg is looking at this like, damn, that's a
Thanksgiving
full fridge. Look at all the leftovers there.
Look at the whole milk. Don't forget to mention the whole milk.
The whole milk
That's
on
my
the
coffee.
side. Yep.
Emily comes home. She takes off her work boots, puts on her tank top, puts her feet up on the lazy boy, and has 6 Coors Banquets before she
Exactly.
passes out in the chair.
Oh, Berg's here. You
Crushes
heard his
them.
call.
She crushes them.
Yeah, crushes
throws
them on her head.
As I watch another time, the Knicks lost.
Yeah, and she throws her empty beer cans at the TV when the team she likes strikes out.
Yeah, I also
These
just
guys
got
are a
internet.
bunch of bums. Ding! Bounces it off the TV.
See
Another
her
one.
fridge?
I did not see the fridge, but I heard it. I was going to leave it alone. Yeah, that sounds.
That's too full for
about
you, huh?
right. No,
That's a lot
if this was
there.
2 weeks ago, yeah, that's way too full for me.
She has 19 cans of beer.
I have
in her
no
That's a lot of
condiments.
beer. I didn't
I have
drink that
butter.
much beer anymore. Otherwise, I'd
Greg,
be right
on
there
the
with
bottom, on the bottom shelf, he has bath towels. He has
Me?
Shorts. He's starting to put clothes in there.
I
He's
ran
like,
out
might
of
as
room
well
in my
use it.
closet, Slee. But either
as well
way,
use it.
over the last 2 weeks, I've been much, much better. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm filling up my fridge. There's always food. I've been bringing food to work the last 2 weeks.
What are you packing
Little
in?
wraps there, so it has like chicken
Wraps that you made or that you purchased?
made.
Okay. Oh.
Oh wow! You made them.
Well, I
assembled
didn't
something.
make them, but somebody made them for me.
You knew that's what I meant. Like you're not folding the little lavash
that's
bread
why
and
you
making
buy
a wrap.
Exactly.
Hey.
So now there's food in there.
Step one is buying real food.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, no matter how little money I have, I will get Kerrygold butter because it's in there too.
Yeah,
I love
that's your
Kerrygold.
luxury item's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
Because it's a far superior butter,
Oh,
and I will
it's-
buy it
it's good.
anytime. 'Cause I don't bake a lot. This is basically just used when I toast bread. I want it to taste good. Okay, so I use Kerrygold butter.
I'm not
It is
judging you. I'm
hella
with
expensive
you.
though.
Look, I could eat out of your fridge. I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing. Strawberries, ham and cheese sandwiches, and banquet beer and good bread and
yes.
Aquafina.
Yesterday you brought that the fruit bowl. That looked
Yeah, so
delicious.
This was 2 days ago. I took this picture because I knew that you guys would like this. I just didn't give it to you yesterday because we had the Lakers to talk about. But I had that whole fruit thing, and that was my healthy choice.
There you go.
so
of the day.
so now is there nothing in there? Like
No,
since this
no,
was 2 days ago.
All the beer is gone.
yeah, half
She's
the beer
done this
for sure.
12 cans of beer.
water.
She had
Yeah,
7
no hot
last
water.
night.
She's just watching, and she's watching like random baseball games. It's the Rays versus the Twins, and she's like, "Come on!"
Speaking of
Rosarena, what are you doing, man?
the Rays and the Brewers played last night. Did you guys see
Oh
that
yeah,
fight?
that fight.
yeah, yeah.
It was
a good fight.
usually baseball fights are stupid because nobody really wants to fight.
No, the bullpen
The,
comes running
the
out
guy
for no
from the
reason.
Brewers wanted to fight
Yeah, he
and
did.
did. Like, so there was a play at first base, and the pitcher's covering the bag, and they start chirping,
whatever it
and
was.
I don't know the guy's first name, but Uribe, the pitcher for the Brewers, looks at the guy, and the runner for the Rays kind of chirps it. Uribe just hits him in the face, just like wham! And I'm like, oh, this is
you're
a
right.
real
Those
one.
don't usually happen.
It doesn't
Yeah, those don't
happen
usually
very often. Since Tim Anderson got dropped by who was it?
Oh yeah.
Tim Anderson.
By the Indians guy or the Guardians guy. Well, it's Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez just flattens his face in. It's like down goes Anderson.
Do you remember the one that was maybe it was a couple of years ago? It was Amir Garrett, who was the relief pitcher, and he took on the entire team. He was with
when
with
he ran
Cincinnati.
over?
Yeah,
That's
he ran.
right.
He ran over, and the picture is him and like the entire other
He
team.
throws
It
his
might
glove.
have been the Brewers.
He's like, "You want to
He's-
go?"
he went after
The whole
everybody.
literally, that's not common. Where you're saying, "I'll come to where you are."
He went to the dugout.
I
and was just,
don't-
I'm going in.
I have a vague recollection of what you guys are talking
Look
about.
it up.
And I'm
Amir Garrett.
Uribe last night would have fought the entire Tampa Bay Devil Rays team. Are they the Devil Rays or just the Rays?
Just
now?
the Rays.
He was.
God, that's so
Old man.
90s.
He was very ready to fight. Like he's like, oh, we're fighting. Cool, we get to fight.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those guys that isn't looking to de-escalate. He's like, finally, I get to fight somebody,
I'm
and
gonna
he did.
smack someone in the face right now.
It was pretty great.
That's what she was watching when she crushed her beer.
On her forehead, and throws
Was
it
it
at
the
the
forehead or the top of the head?
And
I love it too because we're picking the most random teams. Like she's angry at like right when that game ends, then she's
The Royals.
quickly turning
No, I'm
into
talking on the
another
Vegas
random.
and Dallas Stars hockey game.
Oh, no, it's a hockey game too. But
Nashville
that's-
forced
that
to
makes
game
sense.
6. We're going back to Nashville. They beat Vancouver last night.
Don't worry, I was watching the laundromat 2 days ago.
It's pretty exciting.
In
guys-
reality, I was watching 15-year-old Survivor. I was going back and watching season 18.
But you know who
of Survivor.
wins.
I don't.
Oh.
Because I don't look it up. I say, hey.
she's a new Survivor or newish Survivor
okay.
watcher.
Yeah,
That
so I'm
makes
going
more
back and
sense.
watching
Okay.
seasons, and I've heard that Token Teens is a good season, so I'm going to watch that season. So don't tell me what happens, guys.
Don't worry.
You're not gonna get an answer from us. We won't.
Oh,
know.
token teens. Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you what happens.
You're going to be like, oh, Jason wins. You're like, dang it.
So you hated Tangled?
Tangled. I didn't hate Tangled. I just
Challengers is
I
what
don't
we're talking about.
Yes. Tangled. I just thought it was not.
I can't
for
get it
me.
through my damn
It was.
head.
No, wait,
it's not.
wait,
It
that was
wasn't.
not
I don't think it
real.
was
Was
my
that real?
demographic. It was
I
a good
can't.
movie.
I can't remember. I still.
But what you just said to him was that real or were you joking?
I don't. I still don't
He
know what
doesn't
it's
know.
actually called.
Challengers.
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 Tangled is in my.
I've never seen him. He's got such a good memory.
I can't
I've
block
never
it.
seen him
Alan,
get one.
remember
Tangled.
I
when
don't
he
know.
kept on saying he mixed up the Fields guy?
Josh Fields.
Yes. So I was trying not
Is
to
that the
mention
quarterback
it
or the
again,
Astros
so we
player?
can get into his
That's
fit.
the Astros player.
Justin Fields is the Steelers' backup quarterback right now. Josh Fields is the pitcher.
His memory is
like Josh Fields better.
He's got a really
not
good
about-
memory, and then
Very-
there's
but it's
just
specific.
a really random, like one or two things that get in.
So,
He can tell you anything about 90210 you
Shall-
want to know about.
what do you want to know? Here for you. So, not for you?
What? No, it's just I don't think it was a good movie. It was very well done. I think it was just not something that it was my demographic. I
It's
thought,
up mine and Mace's alley.
Yes, that's the exact way to put it. And if you know, you know. And you saw it
I
too,
saw it,
right?
yeah,
Laura?
I did.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
Okay. I've also heard
theater?
so
It was. I mean, it was good.
I have
AMC.
not seen Bull Durham.
Burbank.
So, but I've seen
IMAX.
people compare it to Bull Durham in terms of the.
Really?
I don't
Bull
know.
Durham?
I heard several different people
Okay.
say Bull
Wait,
Durham.
Hold on a
In
second.
terms of like
Bull
the-
Durham-
the love
I'm
interest
going
stuff.
to get him to watch it if you say Bull Durham.
That is the very best comparison that I've heard so far because Bull Durham, I love it. It's really funny. B, it's a great baseball
Okay,
movie.
I may have
Like,
hyped this up too much, but,
it gets like Bull Durham, like what's the other Costner based? One of the other, the one in the
Field of
corner.
Dreams?
Field of
Field
Dreams.
of Dreams for the love of the game.
Field of Dreams is sentimental. It's saccharine. It's a little. It's not for me. Right.
corny.
this is not sentimental or that stuff.
Bull Durham is all the terrible things baseball players do to one another. It's all the stupid things we
kinda what
say
this
to one
movie is,
another. So
too.
if it's in that lane,
Yes, it is in that lane.
It's about how tennis people get into each other's minds and F with each other.
Okay.
Yes, that is very much that, and it also has the love triangle of like the one female and the two.
Nuke LaLoosh and Crash Davis and Annie Savoy.
Yeah, imagine.
See,
two,
I remember
like,
that, Slee. I remember the three
imagine-
characters from a movie from 40 years ago.
But
two best friends going after the same girl.
it's a love triangle where all three sides touch.
Is Susan Sarandon entangled?
Zendaya is entangled, but
well,
it is
kinda.
no,
Wait, what do you
she's
mean,
in
kinda?
I mean, no, she's
She's
but
the
she's not
star
really-
of the movie.
No, I understand she's in the movie, but I don't think she's really in. I didn't really have her in the middle of it too
it. No,
much.
no, I was saying in Tangled, the movie that he's referring to. But no, I think that like Zendaya is too skinny for you. I think you don't always gravitate towards the skinniest of ladies out there.
Yes.
But I do think there is an outline structure that somewhat matches what I believe Bull Durham is
Okay.
about.
Yes,
So,
I agree with that.
You have my attention.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
When
just
is it?
baseball instead of tennis.
When is it on Max or Netflix?
Probably 2
Okay,
months.
it's actually going to be on Amazon. You have Amazon, right?
Jorge
I
might know.
do have
It's
Amazon.
owned by Amazon, so
Okay.
it'll probably
Might
be like 2-3 months.
have a
I'll
connection
keep you
there.
posted. I'll send you a
Yeah,
text
all
when it's available.
Jorge might know.
or when can I get to Jorge's house? one or the other.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
drive to
They
Burbank.
just use a lot of things in specific ways, and you're like, okay, I know what you're doing.
The Lakers have decisions to make. LeBron has decisions to make. I don't know exactly what LeBron's going to do, but I know exactly what the Lakers are going to do. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. And I know what I'm going to do, Slee. That tonight there is NBA playoff basketball. There is NHL playoff hockey. There's Major League Baseball. And you can play all of them on Prize Picks. You can even put them together on Prize Picks because at Prize Picks, you just have to pick between 2 and 6 players and then choose more or less on their statistical projections. And I guarantee you, you're going to be hanging on every basket. You're going to be hanging on every shot on goal every time they get in the batter's box because that's what makes Prize Picks the #1 DFS platform in all of North America.
All right, like Trav just mentioned, Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. I made my first $10 deposit, received an instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, you can play for a shot at turning $10 into $1,000. Something else to keep in mind here. We talk about it all the time. I'm always playing NBA. You guys know that. I'm going to look at the Clippers game versus the Dallas Mavericks coming up a little bit later tonight. Critical game. Obviously, critical players. You could look at Luka for more or less than 33.5 points. You could look at some of the role players or even the stars for the Los Angeles Clippers. James Harden, more or less than 22 points. Download the app today. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
You never have to
There's no bread in that fridge, so I'm assuming it's on the counter or something. What kind of bread are we talking about to make those sandwiches? Huh?
You put bread in the fridge?
Yeah.
Only if it's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Yes.
It's in there.
I have just honey wheat bread, and then I have some bagels that I've been having for breakfast. So I have bagels and I have cream cheese. I think you see the cream cheese in there. So that's my breakfast.
I just want to make sure there was some bread to make
No,
those sandwiches.
I
I didn't know if you're just like
having cold
mainlining
cuts.
ham slices. Out
I'm
of
Tony
that tub.
Soprano.
You're wrapping with
Where's
cheese.
the gabagool?
Gabagool, yeah. What? No blank and ziti?
What now? No ziti?
That's right. All right. So LeBron tweeted yesterday, kind of basically tweeted what he said when he was asked the day before whether or not he was coming back, and he said, I'm not going to answer that. What he tweeted was, I've heard a lot of reports about my future. I said it last night. I'll say it again. I do not know yet, as I'm only thinking about spending time with my family and friends. When I know after speaking with the fam, my counsel, as well as my representation about it, then you guys will know. Until then, shush emoji, love crown emoji. Okay, so he had this guy and then the crown, which he signs his tweets with, which for whatever reason really grates on my
Did
nerves.
you
But
sign yours with a burger at the end?
it's-
Love
burger. Burger, fries, Coke. I don't know. Anyway, the tweet really, there's not a lot there. He's got to make a decision if he wants to come back, exercise his option, if he wants to opt out, if he wants to explore free agency, if he wants to sign an extension. There's some things that does he want to play with his kid, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of stuff. The Lakers, I guess, have options. But Slee, I think you and I think most people agree, while I don't like the plan, I think that the plan is fairly obvious what they're going to do. There's another story out there about how the Lakers are enthusiastically willing to pay the maximum 3-year, $164 million extension. Let me say that again, 3-year, $164 million extension. The Lakers are going to wait around for his decision, and assuming he makes the decision he wants to remain a Laker, which I think is by far the most likely outcome, they're going to give him whatever he wants. They're going to take whatever roster pieces are on the roster right now, package them with whatever draft picks they might want to send out to basically do what they've done all over again. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, new coach, shuffle the deck, let's go again. That's where this is going to land, right? It's going to take a month or two to get where we need to go, but that's where it's going to land.
It's going to land wherever LeBron wants it to land. So I think that front office is, in a small way, they kind of got their hands tied behind their back, which is, by the way, I hate the franchise trying to operate like this, but they've already let everybody know the moment the season ended. What did they let everybody know? There was a report out there, the Lakers
fire the coach,
potentially draft Bronny.
Okay.
This report about the 3 years, $164 million. I mean, the Lakers are basically operating under LeBron. Whatever you want us to do, we're going to do it. I'm not telling you that that's the wrong plan. I just hate how they feel like they have, this is just my observation, like they have no say in the matter. You have a say in the matter. You don't have to do every single thing LeBron James asks you to do. And even if you're going to eventually do what LeBron wants, I mean, you don't have to tell everybody I got a pair of sevens. Like I feel like you're out there, you're playing poker, and you're telling everybody, this is my hand. This is my hand. I just want everybody to know this is exactly my hand. They are letting everybody know, indirectly or directly, to LeBron James, what do you want? You want a 3-year deal? You're going to get a 3-year deal. You want us to draft Bronny? You're going to get Bronny. You want us to trade Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt? Go down the list. What do you want? You want us to go get Trae Young, who's a part of Clutch? We'll go get Trae Young. I think that's the thing that stands out the most to me right now. I feel like the Lakers are operating like they have no leverage when I disagree with that. I don't think that's the right way to look at things, but I think what you said about don't we already know what's going to happen?
From the Laker end.
From the Laker. But the Laker end is the LeBron end.
Not necessarily.
When you say, do we know what the Lakers are going to do? I know what LeBron wants them to do, which is what I think the Lakers will eventually do.
That's what I'm saying. That LeBron has a decision to make. Do I want to be a Laker or not? Do I want to play with my son or not? Mm-hmm. Do I want to play for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or
Maybe
beyond?
I'm wrong on this.
He's got decisions to make that he will make And then the Lakers, if the decision is, I want to come back with the Lakers, I want to play with my son, I want to be here for 3 more years, and I want you to trade all those draft picks, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Exactly what's going to happen.
That's exactly what they're going to do. There isn't hey, look, we'd like to have you back. However, we also want to make sure that we leave our options open. Yeah. We want to make sure that, by the way, your son really is not in our plans. That's something that we're not terribly interested in. There doesn't seem to be any pushback. So while we can speculate about, and by the way, there's another component of this that we haven't even mentioned. Whoever the next coach is will have to be blessed by LeBron James, right? Mm-hmm. They're not bringing in anybody that he's like, I don't want to play for that guy. That's not going to happen. So LeBron needs to figure out who he wants to have coach him too. Or at least in collaboration with it, because they're not going to do the thing, I don't believe, which is, yeah, we can't meet you there. We can meet you at 2 years. We can meet you at, maybe we can trade a pick, but we can't meet you all the way where you want to go.
Why?
Because they're afraid he will leave.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to go back to. Where do you draw the line? And I think right now the Lakers have already shown they ain't drawing the line. Whatever LeBron wants, they're going to give him. But let me play a hypothetical for you. The Lakers go to LeBron James and say, listen, we're willing to work with you on a lot of this stuff, but we're not in the business of throwing out 3-year deals right now. 2 is the most that we're going to give out. 2 is our absolute maximum. Where's Bron going to go? Where's he going to go? Like this whole thing, like Bron has all the leverage. Bron has great leverage, but you know why he has that leverage? Is because the Lakers look like they don't even own a franchise, that everything is completely predicated on LeBron James. You and I were talking about this yesterday. He's still amazing.
He really is.
And I think that's the first thing that you start with any conversation that you have about LeBron James. Trav, he's amazing still. I mean, watching him in the playoffs, every time that he had the ball, I'm like, there's a good chance something's good.
Can I read you something to that regard? Dan Weike wrote this in his piece.
Mm-hmm.
In his 21st NBA season, playing 71 games, the most he's played in a season for the Lakers, shooting 41% from 3, he averaged 25.7 points, 8.3 assists, and 7.3 rebounds per game at 39 years old. No other player has ever done that after the age of 30. He's done it 5 times. Okay? So that's what we're dealing with. It's not, it
He's
is
great.
It's
unbelievable.
He is still one of the best players in the league. Is he as good as he was 9 years ago? No. But so what? He's still one of the best guys in the league.
How about how he is in the playoffs? How about what he does in the fourth quarters when the money's on the line?
Spirit?
How about his competitive spirit? How about all of that? But this is where I'm going to stop for a quick second. Do the Lakers feel like they just have does the franchise
finish
not?
Yes, because
that's how they feel, and that's incorrect.
But that was what you said. Do they feel like
that's how they
feel? That's how they feel, and that's how they will operate.
By the way, and I've said this. I said it yesterday. I'm in the business of continue with LeBron. I'm in the business of continue with Anthony Davis. I am in that business. But the 3 years to me, I mean, you can't draw the line at 2 years. Let the guy play his 22nd and his 23rd season in the NBA. You can't draw the line there. I mean, you can't have.
But Slee, at some point,
you can't have.
Aren't you like, if I'm going to do 2, what's the difference for 3?
You can't have a conversation with LeBron James and say, listen, if Bronny's available at number 55 that late in the draft, we're going to take him.
Sure.
But we're also not going to. If you think we're moving up in the second round to go get him at number 31 and we have to trade some assets, we're also not going to do that. Maybe Bronny doesn't even get drafted. Maybe there are other teams out there that, kind of call a little bit of a bluff here and say, we'll take him with our 52nd pick.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe there's a little bit of that. But
the fear, how real. Look, half the time we're scared of things of the unknown, right? We don't know what's waiting for us. Therefore, we're afraid of what might happen, as opposed to when you, not to get too deep into this, but when there's something that you're worried about what might happen, your mind, at least for me, it races to the darkest places. I could lose my job. My wife is going to divorce me. My kids are going to hate my guts. I'm going to be living on the streets, right? It's like, and that's going to happen in 4 hours. That if this one thing happens, you go to that place. But if you actually stop and think about it, you're like, okay, that's not going to happen. That's not, and you kind of shine a little bit of light on it. It's that fear of the unknown. Their fear, the Laker fear, is he's going to leave, as opposed to, well, okay, but where actually might he land? Now, there are some places he could land, but is that better than not having him at all? In their worldview, it's, No, he could leave, and that's the worst outcome. So if that means give him the third year, if that means draft his son, if that means trade away all of your draft picks, then that's what's going to happen. This is a LeBron James decision that they're just waiting to get an answer on. And he's saying, I'm going to go hang out with the fam. I'll get back to you guys later. They're just sitting around waiting.
Yeah, I go back to it. I'll keep emphasizing it. Bron is still great. I know Bron is box office. I know Bron is going to sell out arenas, the international brands that come with it. I mean, it's LeBron freaking James.
Sure.
Still the Lakers. Relax. That's fine.
But they're not going to.
I know they're not going to. I'm just giving you my opinion.
No, I get it if you were the executive for the day, but I'm talking more about fast forward 2 months. I know exactly what this is going to look like.
They've already said it.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, listen. If you'd have told me if the reports came out after Lakers lost Game 5 against the Denver Nuggets, if the reports came out and it was Lakers have no interest in Bronny James, hypothetical, right? The Lakers will not give more than another 1 or 2 year deal to LeBron James. No, it wasn't that. It was, what do you want? How much do you want? Tell me what exactly it is. Do you want us to tell us? You want us to build you a home across the street from crypto? We'll do it. Like, just tell us what you want. They would do it.
Oh, really? Ask Bergman next? We're doing that? All right. That's fine.
Fridge
Go ahead and send him in at Travis Rogers, at Alan Sliwa, at Emily Hebel, at JabCamLA. And, of course, you can do it on the phone. 877-710-3776, 877-710-ESPN. That's next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland today at 1 after
877-710-ESPN. That's how you call in for an Ask Berg on today, an Ask Corporate Greg. Let's start in Torrance with Alex. Alex, what do you got for Greg?
Hi, good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Hey, so my buddies and I are going on a golf trip in Phoenix in a couple months. So we obviously had to get an Airbnb. So we found a house, and one of our buddies has a Airbnb gift card that he's going to put towards it. Should that gift card go towards his portion of the fee, or is that a group thing? How do you think we should handle this?
It depends on how he got the gift card. So I think that it should go to all of it. If it was something where he went to an Airbnb at one point and got a gift card back.
Purchased a gift card.
No, not purchase, or they gave him something back that was a part of a package, whatever it happens to be, then it's his gift card. But he's putting it in, it should go to everybody.
Why?
Because it's a gift.
Gift cards.
It was given to you. It was given to you.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It should go to everybody.
Here's the thing.
It's Ask Berg. It's not Ask Trav.
Right thing to do. Okay. Let's say everybody's got shipping $200.
Okay.
And this guy's gift card is $100.
Yeah.
Well, let's say it's $200.
Yeah.
If
Here's
he
my
says,
portion. Boom.
Here's my
done.
portion. You could 100% do that, no problem. Right thing to do?
Good guy.
Fellas, let's take this, let's put it in the pot. I'm still going to pay mine. You know what's going to happen after that? Hey, I'm grabbing a dinner. This guy's doing this.
That's, Alex, what Sliwa is saying is absolutely right. It should go to everybody just to be a good guy.
Frog is wrong. Christopher Holmes is next.
Frog?
In 2 words, how would
It's
you
his
describe
saying.
your fashion style?
Fashion style?
In 2 words.
Geez, non-existent.
Well done.
I mean,
well done.
It's business casual.
Convenience.
Convenient.
I'm
yeah.
convenient.
That's not business casual, by the way, what you have on today.
No. It's
Yeah.
If I take off this hoodie.
That's a little better.
Yeah, so
that's a little better.
I put on the hoodie because it was cold this morning. But
What about
normally.
what about
this is
Valley
normal.
casual?
Valley
casual is not bad.
It's not bad, but yeah, I usually wear collared shirts. I have a pair of nice pants on. I have nice shoes.
How would you describe yours, Al? 2 words.
Very convenient.
Okay. Okay, not bad.
I go to the
easily
closet.
accessible?
I'm taking a look.
Easily
cool.
accessible,
That one's
yeah.
there again. That shirt is clean. Very convenient.
I'm going with maximum dad.
That's good.
That works.
I like
that's just
that. Okay.
It's comfortable.
I
It's
got
ready
one
to go.
here from Joel B.
Okay. Oh, no. I'm worried for this one. He trolls me so hard.
1 week of nothing but Taylor Swift music,
Okay.
or 1 week of Cappy trying to rap.
For the
1
pure-
week. You get 1 full week of this is what's coming off your speakers, coming out of your speakers.
Jeez. Okay. So,
Listen. The Cappy part of it, I'm sure you're entertained. You're
Yes.
laughing.
Yes.
There's things going on with that, and then there's Taylor Swift.
Right. But
Like,
no matter
you'd
what,
have to like the music.
yes, I can deal with Taylor Swift music. I have a child that will do that. The Cappy thing, that's gonna become a problem later on. Like the first day.
My brother's been keen, man. You blanks ain't been kin to me. You heard about me? You don't know more than that. Yeah. Hey,
You
yeah.
have a lady friend
These
over
lyrics.
there.
Kind of found the flow there at the end with the yeah.
Yeah,
here's
Like
the
they
problem.
kind of found the pocket
Here's the
all of a
problem.
sudden.
Here's the problem. What happens after an hour? You still have
Yeah.
the rest of the week left.
That's
And
the
imagine-
problem. That's what it is, Slee. That
You have a lady friend, and she's having to listen to this.
What if she's like, "Oh my gosh, you know him? He's really
she
good."
could, but I think after a little while, that's gonna grate on my mind.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's Taylor Swift.
M.
I can give you some recommendations if you had
Sure,
to.
I need all of them because I don't know any of it.
So this one
Shake
is
it off.
from Marcus Grant. So
I
Marcus
know that
asks, Marcus asks, does ketchup go in the fridge or the pantry?
Good question.
Oh, that's a great question, Marcus. All right, so
I didn't know there was 2 options.
Really?
There are.
there is. So this
Then we
is
have to go around the room and tell us what we do.
so this is the way that I use ketchup when I put it in. When I do it. So it goes in the pantry until it's opened. Once it's opened, it moves to the fridge. And that, I think, is the right way to go.
I didn't know that.
I'm completely out of the fridge.
Completely
It
out of the
never
fridge.
goes in the fridge.
Never goes in the fridge.
Yeah.
I think I just like it a little bit cold when I.
That's why I keep it in the
thought-
fridge for no other reason.
I'm
I
in the
want it
fridge
cold.
as well,
doesn't
but
need-
I thought it was supposed to go in
It
the
won't
fridge.
go bad.
It will not.
It won't go
is
bad.
completely.
It'd have to be in there
freaking years.
forever.
Imagine how they keep it out on the table at restaurants,
restaurants.
all
Yeah.
the time.
And then you just refill it and put it on the side of.
It's vinegar based. It's not going to go
Yeah.
bad.
I always
Nothing's wrong with
wondered
it.
why.
It's not mayo based.
Yeah.
We always would have.
I think
like,
mayonnaise you can keep also in
Until it's opened.
yeah.
Once the
mayonnaise
seal is
also
broken?
available. You can keep it there.
In the pantry?
Yeah, look it up.
Really?
I think I don't. I don't eat mayo. Period.
Yeah.
Chicken, once it's open, you keep outside.
Keep it in the trunk of your car.
You love salmonella, don't you?
Jorge.
This one's from Daniel Tapia. He says, who at 7'10" would make the best wingman?
Best wingman. I think it used to be Jorge, but I think I know who it actually is. It's Cappy.
Yeah.
Cappy is the best wingman at this place. He's going to talk you up, but he's also going to bring in the females as well.
He's like outgoing.
Yes.
Good energy.
He's got a little peacocking vibe a little bit.
Yeah,
so he'll
and he's
bring
funny.
them, and then he'll pass you
And
off.
it has to be somebody with somebody.
It can't. That's not even a good question. It needs to be other than Cappy because Cappy's the right answer.
We went to a place, had drinks, and it was on the house.
It was. Oh, that's why Jorge was the right guy for a while.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing for sure.
Also,
Cappy, absolutely.
By the way, I have an answer to your mayo question. It says the FDA recommends tossing perishable foods, including mayo, which have been left out of a room temperature for more than 2 hours. Unopened containers of store-bought mayo will keep in the pantry until the sell-by date.
Unopened.
Unopened.
Unopened until
I don't eat
sell-by
it,
date.
so I have no idea
peanut
what
butter.
to
You
do
guys
with
keep it in the pantry. You guys put it in the fridge.
Pantry.
Fridge.
Yeah.
Really?
Pantry.
Fridge? Peanut butter?
Peanut butter doesn't need to be in there.
I think I've just, since I was a kid, whatever my mom did as a kid, I'm assuming
we all
that's
do that.
like,
I wonder about
that's
this.
like the Bible.
What do you do with your batteries?
Oh, I know you're supposed to keep them in the freezer.
No, you're not. You're supposed to leave them out in room temperature, apparently. I just learned that
I
2
thought that
years
was
ago.
a freezer thing
First,
too.
I don't keep mine in the freezer because I don't think we've ever owned batteries other than when you need batteries and you go to the grocery store, you buy the 2 you need, and then that's it until you need the next one.
Freezer Why would you put freezers in the battery?
They're supposed to last longer or something like that.
My mom always taught me to put it in the refrigerator. So I always had all of my batteries in the refrigerator.
They go in that drawer in the laundry room that never gets opened.
Yeah, it's the everything drawer.
This is from Parker Bell. Never heard of him.
Oh, Parker.
Hey, what's up, Parker?
Why doesn't Trav like joining Blue Review?
He used to like it. He doesn't like it anymore, and I don't know why. We try and ask him. He actually, by the way, Slee, he has a link just for him, so he can sit right there where he's sitting right now, and he can come on whenever he wants. Guess how many times? Guess how many times we've given it to him. He's come on.
Give us a once.
No, 0.
Okay.
0. Flat out 0.
The over/under was half. Just think about this. What time? Give me the exact time Blue Review's on.
9:30 to 9:55.
A little tough for him.
Well, you guys are prepping from 9 to 9:30.
No, we go.
Today
we finish at 9:45.
9:45. You have 10 minutes.
I like to get in the proper headspace to do the Trav and Sleep.
Grab a cup of coffee. Sometimes he's got oatmeal waiting for you.
Nothing's changed. You used to come on.
What the hell's you do?
My mornings are filled up. I've got Locked on Rams free and available wherever you get your podcast, never behind a payroll, and there is a YouTube component.
Oh, there is. Oh, that's
I
good
do
to
that
know.
from about 7:45 to 8:15. Then I read, I watch highlights, I get up to speed, and then Em and Al and Jorge and we get ready to do our show. It's full.
What's going on?
Yeah,
it's full.
Those last 10 minutes, you're always welcome, and you have the link to join when you want.
I appreciate it, and we'll see what we can do.
Thanks for the question, Parker.
Who do you know that guy?
I know him now.
Never heard of him.
Great dude.
He can't fit too much into the graphic, though.
Right. Al?
Oh, that's right. I got to go. Okay, so this one I was going to ask you.
I've got plenty more if you're unprepared.
Well, I had one, but I can't remember if we've asked you this question before, so I'll throw it at you anyways.
Yeah.
One championship. Any team. UCLA or the Dodgers?
UCLA football.
Ha! Okay.
This will never happen.
You asked me a question.
UCLA
you asked me a question.
UCLA football?
Yeah, I've seen a Dodger championship.
UCLA football get in the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers are in the World Series.
I can only pick one?
You want Bruins to run the table.
I want, yes, because I've never seen that. It happened one time in 1954 or whatever it was. Yeah.
Good. All right, I'm going to start. I literally am going to start the clock on you on this one, okay? You have 1 minute, okay? Because this relates to this question. This is from Crash Override.
I'm going to be terrible at these.
What is your elevator pitch for Emily being producer of the year? Go.
So Emily is actually the best producer that we have right now at this station. It is not me. It is her, how she prepares, how she always has something to say. She's very good at everything that she knows her Rams really well and has the conversations with you guys. She's gotten much, much better when it comes to Dodgers and Lakers content. She also has funny things about her life. She is constantly going out and doing things about that are become content for the show. She is the best producer at 710.
28.6. Good job. That's a great pitch. Is she a good A?
I think you know what? I think she could be. Honestly,
she could too.
I think she
I'll
could
take
be.
your spot, Trev.
You can have it. You can have it. We can switch. I've done that, and I'm going to be happy to go back. We could do it all over again. We did Alex. We did Alex. All right. LeBron James is going to be on the Lakers. We can speculate, and he's going to be on the Lakers. The question is LeBron James Jr. going to be on the Lakers? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
I have an etiquette question for you guys. So it is graduation season, right? That high schools, colleges around the country are getting ready to graduate, send another class out into the world.
Congrats to Michael near the end of his high school career.
So that's where I'm headed. My youngest son is a senior in high school. He'll be graduating at the end of the month, and it's awards season, right? Where they're handing out, this kid gets this and this kid gets this, and here are your valedictorians and your salutatorians, and this kid gets the Marine Corps scholarship.
This kid gets the Golden Corral breakfast.
Exactly. So it's award season. So last night was the senior awards banquet.
Okay.
And there were, I don't know, let's say 100 kids or so, maybe probably a little bit more. Let's call it 125. And it was in the gym. And the kids are on like basically the basketball portion of the gym, and the parents are sitting in the bleachers watching they're reading names. And this, by the way, there was this young woman that I think won every award there was to win.
There's always that one person.
And she was, I'm not going to put her name out there because I don't know the family and it would not be cool, but she won she had to have left that gym with $20,000 in scholarship money.
Is she going to Harvard?
I think not. I think they told me, I've forgotten, but
it's an online school, University of Phoenix.
She was up there nonstop. It was incredible. Anyway, Michael was kind of in the middle of the pack as far as when the award that he won was presented, and it was him and 60 other kids that checked this one box, whatever. As they're going through the awards, first kids go through, they're the National Merit Scholars or whatever it is, and there's 3 or 4. Well, they go through, they get their little thing, and I see a couple parents get up and bounce. And the next group goes through, a couple more parents get up and bounce. People are starting to take pictures in the middle of this thing with their parents and grandparents and stuff, and they're bouncing out. And I keep looking at Susan like, once Michael goes, we can leave, right? Because these are long. These are long.
How long are they?
It was over 2 hours.
And when did it start?
5:30.
Okay.
I already have the answer.
She's insisting that we can't leave. So by the time the thing is just about over,
8 o'clock. 7.
80% of the people have left. We're one of the last remaining people in this thing, and she's like, "I'm making a point. We're not leaving." I'm like, "What point are you making? Everybody else already got
she
to
doesn't
leave."
know either. I'm not. Okay, let me tell
you. And I wanted to leave. I wanted to be one of the rude people. She's telling me it's rude to get up when your kid gets it. You need to sit for the whole ceremony, and I don't know who's right. It's probably her, but
let's take the etiquette piece of this. She's not wrong. the right thing to do would be you sit out this entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the school and you're seeing 80% of the people are living, that's giving you a little bit of indication. This thing's way too long. So however you guys got to figure out to shorten it, you got to shorten it.
That doesn't help me. That's my last one.
Doesn't help you this year because it is your last one. Me personally, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I am leaving. I get it. I understand it. You guys have known me coming to sports. Sometimes we're taking off in that fourth quarter if we got to, or in the second half of a big game. I'm leaving.
People were
too
walking
long.
into the bleachers to take pictures with their families while other kids are walking across the stage getting their little sashes and all these other things. It was incredibly rude, but I'm like, once the rude egg has been cracked, I'd like to participate in the rudeness.
But does anybody care? Like, do people
I
care?
don't.
Like that's what they like. As long as what you're going to do is going to be with your family, and that's the only thing that matters is whatever moment that you're having with your fam. After that, guys, if somebody's getting up in the middle of
I guess the argument.
No affiliation
for is, well, my kid hasn't gone, or he's about to go, or she's about to go, and you're disrupting her moment because you want to walk out of the gym. Who's right, Em?
What if you
or Jorge?
What if your kid was last?
Yeah.
That's different, right? I was in the same situation earlier this year. Mike got awards.
Yep.
I wanted to stay to the whole thing, and because it was a smaller class. Now, given that this is a 2-hour thing, I'm
probably closer to like 2:15 if we're being honest.
What I'm saying. I'm with you on your side. Like my kid went, everybody else is leaving. I'm with you on this side.
I wouldn't be the first. If nobody else is getting up, I'm not getting up.
That's kind of where I was.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, if everybody's staying, we're all in this together. Cool, but the rude egg had been cracked. It's like I'll just participate in it.
What did Michael say?
He didn't want to go in the first place. We had to drag him to go to this thing. He's like, "This is stupid. It sucks. It's everybody gets with it. I don't even want to be there."
I thought you were saying he didn't want to leave.
No, he didn't want to go in the. Susan basically threatened him.
If
you don't go, then you will blank.
I have one more question.
If Michael was making the case, like, guys, I want to stay. This is my.
Okay,
done.
I'm going to read you a series of texts from this child as this thing was taking place last night. I didn't even think of this. Hold on a second. Let me find these. Let's see.
Pull on your glasses a little tighter.
He did say that one. I'm not going to read that one. Let's see here. This thing is entirely unnecessary. God, this sucks. Why can't we leave? These are the things that I'm getting from him in the middle of it.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
And Susan's writing back because we're not going to do the wrong thing.
I think this is about Michael. And I think that if Michael has already gotten his award and he wants to leave,
Michael wants out.
Yeah, Michael wants out.
It's not one of those things you need to make a stand about this. Again, like you said, the egg has been cracked. But what did you guys do in the past with your other kids at this ceremony?
Okay, good question. First kid, I don't think. Well, no, he did. He got a couple. He got one thing. I know I didn't go to Kelly's. I had a conflict, so I couldn't go to Kelly's, but Susan said they sat through the whole thing.
Okay.
And Bobby's, I think we sat through the whole thing, too.
So they know you as the Rogers that stay through the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Like my
Susan's staying through the post-game show. She's there for the whole thing.
She wants to go talk to the other parents after it's over. I'm like,
hey, you're a football family now. It's different.
I did see another football family fist bump. Oh, so Jorge, as they're going across every football kid, I'm like, football kid. It's great.
My family has a saying, and my mom always would reinforce to me if I didn't want to do something or if I wanted to maybe cut a corner on something. She'd always say, Heebles do extra credit, and just would repeat that to me until I gave
Sliwa's
in.
leave at the 2-minute warning.
So if you have a statement, then you live by that with your family. So if the Rogers do extra credit, then you do that.
Susan, the Harmons did extra credit. That's Susan's maiden name. The Rogers, what do you want? You need me to do this? I'll do that. You need more? I'm good. That's fine. I'm fine. I don't know if we need to do that.
I'm on your side, man.
The Lakers might do extra credit. They might draft Bronny James, or at least that was the scuttlebutt. I want to listen to Woj, your guy, Slee, talking about how that may not necessarily be the priority for LeBron that it once was.
And I think so for LeBron James and Bronny James, and what Rich Paul said was if organically somehow they ended up together, that would be great. But you look at the Lakers draft assets, number 17, that's a really important pick for the Lakers, probably to use in a big trade. You're not going to use it on Bronny James at 17. And then they have number 55. He could very well be gone by then. There are teams, I think certainly once you get into the second round, we'll see how he does in the pre-draft process. They may not be able to draft him. It's not free agency. Somebody else can take Bronny James. And I think those are the conversations Rich Paul's going to have with teams to try to figure out what might be the right spot, who might have interest at what spot in the draft. So I think that's the priority for them as a family. What's best for Bronny James? And if it ends up them together, well, that would be great. But I don't get a sense it's playing much, if any, role in LeBron James' decision on next season. And I think, listen, we all know in all likelihood he's back with the Lakers. It will just depend on what is the structure of a deal, 2 years, 3 years, perhaps after he opts out.
I think Bron is going to do what Woj just said. No matter what, I think Bron is going to go try to get the amount of years he gets, tries to go get the money that he gets. But I don't believe at all the beginning part of what Woj said about it's not that big of a deal anymore to LeBron James. That part I don't believe. I know we got to come to a break here, but there's plenty of reasons why I don't believe it. Now, I guess the question, if you asked, if LeBron from the beginning said, guys, if my son just got drafted in the NBA, oh my gosh, how unbelievable that would be for me to be in the league with my son at the same time. But he didn't say that. He said specifically playing with his son. I don't think that's going to change over a couple of months, and he might not have control over that.
I think there's a part of that is not being said out loud that is going to make this thing moot entirely. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
I walked into the studio this morning. There's Pizza Hut here. Every time I feel like for Travis and I, every time we're here, we're getting lucky here to get pizza to come get delivered to us. Breaking news from Pizza Hut, any medium pizza right now. With any of your favorite toppings, so whatever it is that you like, pepperoni, sausage, go down the list of everything you like, or all just $12. Any recipe, any toppings, any medium for just $12. You can order right now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Go get it for lunch.
Hey, it's Mace. Let me tell you about the
So I'm giving this a quick little shout out to our man Jason in the Circle of Trust. Remember, Jason was the guy we talked about at the golf tournament who has lost 60 pounds going on his walks and all that stuff, right? Because I was wavering. I was on the fence. That was maybe 2-3 weeks ago, right? So today's May 1st, and I'm putting this out there because I want to commit myself to this. And if I'm held accountable by others, I think it'll help. So April just finished off, and I logged 109 miles in April.
Damn.
Wow, good for you.
109 miles.
Were you 102 yesterday?
I was 104 yesterday.
Okay, so you got 5 miles in yesterday.
So I got just a little under. It's like 108 point something.
Averaging like 3 miles a day?
It's close. It's about 4.5 on average a day.
Wow.
To get you to that number. So I'm going to try. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm going to try to do better this month. And just see, and I'm not going to be able to outkick my coverage by 30 miles, but I want to see if I can get it
and change in a month. That's amazing.
So Jason, you keep going. I'm going to keep going. I may need DeMarco to yell at me around May 17th or so to kind of.
He'll be ready. He'll give you that good speech.
I think I've missed 2 days since he yelled at me. And I think about it all the time. So anyway, Jason, keep it up. I'm going to try to keep doing it, and that way you guys can text at me and like, did you do it? Sure. Because by the way, if you miss like 2 days, you're cooked. You can't make it up because then you need like 9 mile days, and I sure as you know what am not doing that. So Woj is talking about how I want to play this again, and it just the idea of what LeBron wants moving forward, or at least what we speculate that he wants. He's talked about playing with his son. He's talked about just wanting his son in the league. Now we're talking about just wanting what's best for him, if that means going back to college or whatever. Here's Woj talking about the priority on what that is or is not.
And I think so for LeBron James and Bronny James, what Rich Paul said was if organically somehow they ended up together, that would be great. But you look at the Lakers draft assets. Number 17, that's a really important pick for the Lakers, probably to use in a big trade. You're not going to use it on Bronny James at 17. And then they have number 55. He could very well be gone by then. There are teams, I think certainly once you get into the second round, we'll see how he does in the pre-draft process. They may not be able to draft him. It's not free agency. Somebody else can take Bronny James, and I think those are the conversations Rich Paul is going to have with teams to try to figure out what might be the right spot, who might have interest at what spot in the draft. So I think that's the priority for them as a family. What's best for Bronny James? And if it ends up them together, well, that would be great. But
so with that in mind, can someone else take him before the Lakers at 17? Theoretically, yes. That's not going to happen. Can someone take him before the Lakers at 55?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's more possible to happen. But at the same time, basically what you're talking about is somebody wants to use a pick on that player with what comes along with that, the circus of having LeBron James's kid on your team, whether it's the Lakers or otherwise. That's a whole thing in and of itself. It's probably not going to impact your team in the short term. It's more of a developmental play. There's that to it. Here's the part, though, that I think is the most obvious and the most likely. Can have the best of both worlds. LeBron can. LeBron can stay with the team he wants with his kid that has a draft pick that I don't think somebody's going to jump the line to try to entice LeBron to come, because there's the idea. There's Philly, there's Golden State, there's the Knicks, there's a couple of others that I know you're going to get into. But it's this idea that, well, we'll do this and then we can squeeze the Lakers or LeBron to come in. It's not going to go like that, and they know that he can stay here, get his money, get the extension, be on a team that's, at worst competitive, and at best maybe gets better and makes a run for it. And, oh, by the way, there is a late second-round pick that the Lakers have in their back pocket that no one's going to jump up and down on and say, what have you done to your roster by taking that player at that spot? Everything he needs is right where he already is.
Well, I think there's a little bit of what have you done to your roster. Not that
at 55?
Not that the 55 pick, it's the concept of it. It's the concept of you're using your pick basically knowing that this is not an NBA player. Not yet, right?
But isn't that the case more often than not of most guys that are picked at 55?
But if his name's not Bronny James, is he going to be picked by the Los Angeles Lakers at 55? That's my only point that I'm saying.
I got you. No.
At the end of the day, if his name was pick whatever last name that you want, Lakers are not. It's Bronny Rogers. They're not taking him at 55.
I'd take that guy.
Sure.
But you're right. But okay, is they take him anyway. Nobody's nose is out of joint. He's appeased or pleased or however you want to characterize it. He gets to check that box on. I played on the same team with my team. Maybe it's in the preseason. Maybe he gets a call up here. Okay. Whatever. It's not like, hey, he's going to play 30 minutes a night on the team. It's not that.
But you do understand, and again, I go back to this. It's just the concept. The concept of you are a franchise that. How can things unravel? Let's just kind of play this out here for a second. What can happen to where LeBron, you think, says, I'm not signing with the Los Angeles Lakers? What can happen? Is it the Lakers had the number 55 pick and decided not to take Bronny James? Is that the trigger that unravels it? I don't
think so.
Lakers want 2 years, he wants 3 years. Is that the thing that unravels it?
Nope.
So the reason why I'm asking the question is, the concept, and I think this is what we were originally talking about. I'm not saying don't bring LeBron James back. Mm-hmm. I'm not. I'm telling you that, listen, he's still an unbelievable player. If Bron was averaging 12 points a game this year and 5 rebounds and 3 assists, okay, it's a different conversation. What are you doing? Look, he's clearly passed. It's over. What do you think you're signing him to, a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal? I just look at, and I don't think this is going to happen, but it can happen. If there's a team like the Golden State Warriors, who is kind of interesting what happened there at the NBA trade deadline. Some things started coming out about the...
Boy, isn't that fascinating? Like, who was the guy that flicked that snowball down the hill first? Because it matters so much. Did the Laker front office do it? Did the Golden State front office do it? Did Clutch do it? Because all 3 of those mean something wildly different.
I don't think he's leaving. I don't. But... would a team that is the Golden State Warriors, or would a team like Philly, or would a team like New York, or would there be a team out there that says, you know what, we'll take our chances. This
Knicks
late second rounder is not that big of a deal to us. And and we are a market and a franchise that if LeBron wore our jersey, it wouldn't be, I think him not playing for the Lakers would be a surprise anywhere. I really do believe that. Cleveland kind of go down the list.
I'm with you.
I don't know if teams would do that, but 55 is late, so you're asking to basically draft Bronny with other opportunities for other teams.
Yeah, I don't think that pick has a ton of value other than a way to strengthen something else. If you're who's a terrible team, Utah. Okay, let's just say, then you're hoping to find a good player late in the draft and hope that you catch lightning in a bottle. I get it, but if you're a team that's mostly kind of going to be what you're going to be, and I think we know what the Lakers are going to be. They're going to have LeBron, they're going to have Anthony Davis, and then some other stuff. Right? That's what that team's going to be. Does that 55th pick make you worse or better? I don't think it does either. So why not use it? And to your point of
he may go undrafted.
He might, and then it's so yeah. Bait is an interesting word to use it to try to entice him, but I don't think that that's going to change LeBron's mind. That's the part where the bait idea breaks down for me. I don't think that LeBron's like, okay, I want to come back to the Lakers. I want to play with Anthony Davis. I want to make another run here. I want to end my career in Los Angeles. Wait, the Warriors took Bronny? Okay, I'm going to go to the Warriors.
Can I tell you?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Can I play out a scenario that could change everything? A scenario that could change everything is if the Lakers, which I think both you and I agree we don't think is going to happen, it's Bronny does not get drafted by the Lakers. It's the Lakers standing firm on the type of deal they want to give LeBron James.
Okay.
It's the Lakers saying, we're not giving up 3 first-rounders for this guy that you want. It's basically, it's going to have to be the Lakers saying, no, Bron, no, Bron, no,
Is there
Bron.
a no?
And even with all that, I don't know if Bron's still like, well, I don't want to leave L.A.
Yeah.
But it's going to have to be that extreme to see Bron in another uniform.
Do you guys think that there's a point of no return? That there is a, look, I can't do that? Because I don't.
I thought 3 years would be a little. I thought 3 years to me.
Do you think that is that the genie bus? Rob Pelinka will say, "Listen, we love everything. We can't do a third. If the choice is a third year or you leave, I guess you're leaving." Do you think they're going to do that?
I would do that as a front office.
That's not what I asked. Do you think?
So that's why I started it.
Okay.
They won't do that.
I don't think so either. I'm with you. I wouldn't do it either. We're on exactly the same thing. Would I do it? No. Would they say no? I don't think they would. For me, again, I don't even know if he
signed
want to play.
I don't even know what it is.
But
I don't even know though.
I don't know if there's a no on the Laker side of the equation. Now, whether there should be or not, slide that aside. In the what we expect to be done category, we can't draft him. Oh, we can't trade those picks. Oh, we can't trade that player. Oh, we can't give you that much money. We can't give you that many years. I don't think there's a no in the equation.
They already said there isn't a no. Just think about it. Think of all the reports that came out.
Eager.
Every single report that came out, there is nothing up to this point that's given
so
you any
either.
indication.
So we're just waiting
that
for
they're
LeBron.
Not going to
then?
give him for.
We're just waiting. So it's
be here.
literally just a. Do you want to be here or not? Because if the answer is you do, then take whatever you want. Is that what we're talking about?
I think there's a little bit more to wait for. I think he's also waiting of, okay, what are those picks? What are you doing with those picks? Who are we targeting? Who's going to be the next head coach?
What if the answer is, what would you like us to do with them?
I guarantee you that's
that's what I mean. And so at that point, it's, oh, okay, I get to decide what you're doing with the picks. I get to decide who you're going to target.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I agree with you. It's not going to be, well, we want to think about it. It's a, what do you want? And I really do feel that that's where it is. I think it's a incredibly bad idea. I think it's an incredibly risky idea. I read this sentence this morning, then we can go to Factor Cap. That this is basically what we've been talking about, and I read this on Yahoo this morning. I wish I could give the author the credit. I forgot to write his name down. Trade every available asset to appease James, mortgage the next decade potentially to recapture the Orlando bubble after the player's 40th birthday. It's basically what we're talking about. Doesn't that sound awful? Can I read it to you again?
Yeah.
Trade every available asset to appease James, mortgage the next decade to recapture the Orlando bubble after James's 40th birthday. That sounds awful.
Can I tell you the problem with the awful part? He's still freaking really good.
He's going to be on the All-NBA team, probably
He's
the second
still
team.
really good.
I get it all. And I want him back, but I feel like there has to be a stop on that train before it goes off the cliff, before you say yes to everything. That's what I want. I don't think you're going to get it. I think it's going to hit full steam ahead and go right off to appease him, to give him what he wants, to hope to recapture the Orlando bubble.
Appease everything.
To
Star effing driven town.
Hope that you get the thing that happened 5 years ago after his 40th birthday. That is a lot to ask of the greatest player of all time, or one of the greatest players of all time. Factor Cap coming up next is Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back. First of all, it's not a cap. It is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey, guys.
Aloha.
Aloha. Aloha, everybody.
Aloha, Em.
Aloha. So I've been mentioning that I just moved into my place, and we've been figuring out how this specific property management group works with paying rent, with getting things in. It's just all a process, and we've been hearing a couple different things from a couple different people that we're talking to. I don't know why you're laughing.
On the management side?
Because you said you've been hearing a couple of things, and
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, now I know what you're talking about. Different thing. So you're derailing me. So my roommate Esteban is a very nice guy, and he is very good at talking to older women and making them feel really good about themselves.
Okay.
He likes to gas up older women, and I think he's really good at it.
Okay.
So he and I have been almost doing like a good cop, bad cop routine with our property management. Because I'm someone who actually reads the lease, and I'm like, actually, this is what is going to happen because this is what I signed, whatever. And he is the very soft, nice, but you're being so great. So at certain times, I'd be like, actually, no, this is actually what we're going to do. And
to him or to the property company?
To the property person.
Okay.
And then he will call a little bit later with another question that needs a little softer touch. And it's been working for us, and we've been doing okay. Al, you and your property manager.
I was just going to say, you got to go to Al first on this one. I can't wait to see where this lands.
But this is not necessarily going to be about that. But with your relationships with your wife or girlfriend, I feel like how you relate to other people and also how you relate to your children, you have a good cop, bad cop in the partnership, okay? So in that partnership, you are the bad cop. Trav, Factor Cap.
A cap. I am rarely the heavy. Once in a blue moon, you need to be, but Susan is far more willing to dig in on stuff than I am. I am a much easier touch than she is. Much, much easier.
Al?
Fact for me, and I'm not good at being a bad cop, but if I left it in Michelle's hands and they said, tomorrow, hey, there's a leak, you're not going to get your property for 6 months, you'd be like, I completely understand. So what are you doing? So I got to be a little bit more in that situation. But naturally, I'm not a bad cop. So I'll use the property management as an example. I'm awful at it, which is why I ended up hiring a property management, because I will just kind of say yes to everything. So I'm naturally a good cop, but I have to play a little bit of a bad cop.
Jorge?
I have to be, because
you're the bad cop?
Yeah, because Brenda's more like, we need this done, call. Why don't you call? No, because you're supposed to call, and I'm the one explaining what happened. I have to, I'm the one always. She expects for me to take care of those things.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just here. I'm watching the kids. I got other things to worry about. But if you can handle all the stuff that we need as far as the property goes, then I have to make the calls and explain.
The only one that I have to do the bad cop stuff is with financial stuff, banking stuff, mortgage stuff, investment, things like that. Because she just, when we got married, she punted on that from the beginning. Everything else lands on her plate.
Right. And again, for this, why I have to sometimes be a bad cop is because this is a lot of money that you're dealing with.
What do they not want to do that you want them to do?
I really don't want to super get into some details of it, but there was some
Let's go through the contract.
That they were asking to pay double, pay early, and I was like, actually, in the lease that I literally just signed, it says that I pay on this date. So why are you jerking my chain to pay 6 days early? I didn't say it in those certain contexts, but I was like, literally,
it says it
why,
right here.
why would I sign something and you're not going to do it the way that I signed? Anyway, regardless, I'm not doing anything out of pocket, I hope, at least. So, I saw Tangled again yesterday. I saw Challengers again yesterday with my friend. So movie ended. She went to go use the restroom. I didn't have to, so I was waiting outside for her to come out. She eventually comes out, but while she's in the restroom, I was hearing this other pocket of people talk about their movie, like, hey, what'd you think? And the guys were kind of like Jorge and Berg, just didn't love it. They were like, yeah, it felt a little cheesy, didn't super love it. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I've heard that also from other straight men that I've been around that don't super love it. Got it. So then my friend comes out of the bathroom with someone else she's talking to. And so I was like, oh, she must have run into a friend. And the three of us get to start talking, me, my friend, and her friend. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's actually my boyfriend over there. He said he loved the movie. And so, here's the situation. Either the boyfriend lied to the girlfriend and said that he loved the movie that he didn't love, or the girlfriend is lying to me and saying that she loved a movie that she lied to me about him loving the movie as well.
Yeah.
So, the boyfriend told her a white lie. Al, fact or cap?
Fact. Yeah, I don't know why he did it, but fact. He
I
doesn't
do.
need to.
I know why he did
He
it.
doesn't need to. He'd be honest about it.
She's not me, though. She's not going to react. She didn't seem to be a me reaction to not liking
Let's
the
put
movie.
it this way. If there's other things that you might want to use a little bit of a white lie for, I know where you're going. I know where you're going on this. I know where you're going on this. But fact, I do think that he lied to her, not she was lying to you.
Okay, Trav?
Yeah, he told her a harmless lie. He said he liked the movie that he didn't. That's fine. He wants to make sure that the rest of the night goes smoothly. He doesn't want to get into... We've all done it. This is not a male-female thing. We've all done that thing where... I can't believe you didn't like that. Well, I just didn't like it. And it turns into, well, you've never liked my sister. It's like, well, how did we even get here? Like, how did we even wind up in this place? Right. Like, I didn't like the movie, and now you're talking about the way that I talk to the kids. Like, what, I don't know how we even wound up here. He wanted to go home and enjoy the rest of his night. So he said, yeah, I liked it. And she went, yeah, me too. That's it. It's fine. It's harmless.
Exactly. I'm not putting anything on there as it's harmless or not harmless. I just thought it was an interesting interaction that I had. Jorge?
It was a white lie, and I think the girl just wanted to paint a picture to you like, oh, we're great. This is a really good relationship that we have, even though he's lying to her. So they both lied. You know?
It could be both lied.
Could be everyone lying to everybody else. All right. So, another movie. So the movie The Fall Guy is coming out this weekend, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. It's about a stuntman who's older and kind of goes from there. But Ryan Gosling was doing his premiere at the red carpet, and he arrived himself and with his two stuntmen, and they all were wearing the same thing, and they did some stunt stuff. It's kind of cute or whatever. But it got me thinking. What was it, 2 days ago, where Bergman and Chris Morales were wearing the same shirt? And some people get perturbed about this, so I was wondering if you guys did. You don't care if someone is wearing the same thing as you at any event. Jorge, fact or cap?
Fact. I really don't care. There's actually a funny video. There's 5 girls that...
Bro,
you seen that one?
hilarious.
There's a video that there's 5 girls...
Explain the video, yeah.
Okay, so there's 5 women that set up dinner or
It
lunch,
might even
whatever
be
it is.
more than 5, but let's
keep it at 5.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I guess they decided to meet at certain times, right? So say 10, 10:05, 10:10, 10:15. Every 5 minutes, a new couple comes in, and the guys are wearing the same
reservation.
shirt.
They got a reservation at a dinner, right? So they're all sitting at a table, and the person at the corner, the last person at the corner is just
filming.
taking video.
Yeah.
And all the men are dressed the same?
Same shirt.
So here's what happened. One guy comes, he sits down, and it's not even like a unique shirt, isn't it? Blue, it's black and white, stripes. Okay,
it's like a polo shirt.
Yeah, something like that. So first guy comes, right? Sits down.
So say Alan and Lady Lee come, and then you come, and then I come, and then Emily and her date comes, and then Greg and his date come, and then Chris and his date come. But we're all wearing the same shirt, just the guys.
But it's like perfect of just one guy comes, and they look like, why are you wearing that shirt? I'm wearing oh my God, that's crazy.
Eventually
then the next guy come. And now they're all just laughing. They're like kind of have an idea what's going on. But then the fourth guy comes. It's pretty fun. The video is hilarious.
The girls arranged it. The girls
exactly.
conspired together.
That's
hey,
funny.
all of our boyfriends or husbands have the same shirt. Let's have them all wear to dinner.
But I don't mind if me and you end up wearing the same shirt at the next Christmas party. Then so be it.
Trav?
Yeah, it bothers me. I don't have a good explanation why, but there are. I'll use a very specific example. I have golf shirts, for instance, that I know Chris has the same shirt. There are other golf shirts that my buddy Brad has the same shirt. If I'm playing golf with Chris, I know not to wear any of those shirts because there's a chance he might have it on too. Same thing with my buddy Brad. It's weird. I can't tell you why it's weird, but it bothers me. Like if all of a sudden, like, what do you guys call each other? Like
twins?
It's weird. I don't want to have the conversation. I don't want the twins. It bothers me. So if I know that someone else in my group has the same one, it's not coming out of the closet that day.
Al?
I hate to agree with you. I couldn't agree more. And I don't have an explanation. I don't want to go somewhere where I'm looking at this person, I'm like, why are we wearing the same shirt?
It's weird.
It's funny. It's funny, right? Like, it's funny. It's kind of entertaining, but it is also weird. And I don't have an explanation for it. I can only imagine with, like, women at a formal or something, you got the same dress on.
Yeah.
I know that's a bigger deal.
We should dress the same for Mandy's then.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
if you can find me one of your jackets, I'll definitely wear it because that jacket's awesome.
If it's coordinated, that's much easier. That's not a big deal.
So, like, for girls, at least when I was in high school, I used to do, like, I would drive far. So I knew that no one else in my high school would be getting the same prom dress as me. So I try to avoid that. And then same for, like, when I was in sorority, I would kind of try to figure out what to wear to a formal. And sometimes we'd even have, like, a Google sheet. Like, hey, this is what I got. So that no one double checks it. It has the same thing.
There's an episode of 90210 where Kelly and Brenda wear the same dress to the prom.
Geez.
Just saying. And they both did not like seeing the other person in it.
Exactly.
Not good.
All right, so yesterday, I know I talked about this a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was even last week, that the Mets had a promotion for all you can eat $1 hot dogs in honor of Seymour Wiener, their fan that was celebrated.
Incredible.
And so Mets fans purchased a record 44,269 hot dogs at the Dollar Dog Night. That's 4 times more than that Detroit place that had to broadcast it.
Lame.
And they said, quote, "You made Seymour proud," referencing the fan Seymour Wieners. So my statement is, so you are going to this Mets $1 dog night, okay? Put yourself in that position. You would try to find the limit of how many hot dogs you could eat. You say, hey, I want to see if I could do 6 hot dogs. I want to see if I could do 9 hot dogs, and just try to find your personal limit for amount of hot dogs. Travis, fact or cap?
Cap. I like to eat, and I occasionally, less than I used to, but occasionally I will overeat. But it's always because there's something that I just can't get enough of, right? Whatever it is. Oh, give me another one. That hot dogs do not fit in that kind. I can get a hot dog whenever I want, wherever I want.
Yeah.
The correct amount of hot dogs at a baseball game is 2. Maybe if I'm starving, I could force down a 3rd, but I'm not going, hey, I want to see if I can get that, what's the 9-dog challenge, 1 an inning for 9?
Yeah, there's also the 9 beer challenge.
I'd be much more interested in that because that sounds like fun. But the hot dog thing is going to make you feel like, you know what? I'm out on that, Cap.
Al?
Cap, I don't know, even if it was anything other than hot dogs, I'm not sure I'm participating in that anyways, but hot dogs specifically, I don't need 6 hot dogs.
What about chicken tendies? Could you do 6 chicken tendies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why that one seems like a lot better
Less bread.
than hot dogs.
How many hot dogs did you eat when you...
9.
Yeah.
9.
Did you throw up?
I tried forcing myself to, and it wasn't happening.
Jorge?
It was the worst.
No, I know my
radio show after.
My limit for hot dogs is 3, and I can't go beyond that, even if I tried.
Could you do 3 Dodger dogs, like the long ones?
No,
I don't think so either.
Regular the ones from home.
But I was going to say, if it's you're at home, you grilled them yourself. This ballpark dogs, like I'd rather. I'll do 3. I'll do 3 at home.
Right, that's
grilling
what I'm saying.
some good dogs.
3 at home is my limit. That's
but
it.
even if it's just like regular hot dog,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
like there are better ones than others. But if at home,
You have a limit of
well, I'm going
hot
to eat
dogs.
2 while I'm cooking the rest of the food. They're going to have my hot dog appetizers. But if you're like sitting down to eat hot dogs, it's 2. That's the correct number. That's the correct number. Mike Trout's career has completely come off the rails. And that is just a deep, deep, deep bummer. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. think this is probably something that happens to you a little bit more than it happens to me, and I'm saying that as a compliment to you and as a criticism of my own deeply flawed personality.
Okay.
Like when I watch sports, very rarely does it hit me in a oh man, that just bums me out. Like I feel sorry for the person that it happens to. That it's pro sports for the most part, and they're getting paid to do a thing. They're getting paid really well, and if it doesn't work out, oh well, sucks for you. When I saw that Mike Trout yesterday is going to miss a whole bunch of time, he hurt his knee the other day. He's got a torn meniscus. It's going to need to be repaired surgically. I'm just like, really? And look, I don't think I need to say this out loud. I think people know how I feel about the Angels.
Sure.
Not an Angel fan. I don't think they're run well. I think that they pissed away 6 years of Shohei Ohtani's career, and they did 10 years of Mike Trout's. They're not well run. But I like Mike Trout a lot. Like I like watching Mike Trout play baseball a lot. I think that he is on the very short list of the greatest players I've ever seen. Throw Ken Griffey, Bonds, Ricky Henderson, Ohtani, Trout. Like there's the list, okay? And when I saw it yesterday, Slee, that he's going to miss between 4 to 6 weeks, it's probably going to be longer than that. He's on the wrong side of 30 years old. He's on a terrible team. He was off to a really good start. It just hit me in a... God, I felt bad for that guy.
Yeah, and it's a combination, right? Like you think of a fan base that has truly nothing to cheer for.
Yeah.
Truly nothing to cheer for. That's with Mike Trout. At least you could have gone to a game and
He's
said,
having
hey,
a great year.
It's 10 homers. Every time I think I opened up anything on social was him hitting another one. But he's part of an organization. This is the one thing that I never really understood about Mike Trout is what it is, and we'll see what happens in his, the rest of his career. When it basically everybody knew the writing was on the wall, Ohtani's not going to stay as an Angel. Last year, they continued to go all in to, as best as they can, the trade deadline. Can we just get one playoff run? Can we get one playoff run? That was the goal of theirs. The greatest moment for the Angels over the last 18, 19 years, I'm saying after they won a World Series, was when for a quick second, Artie Moreno had announced that they were going to be potentially selling the team.
Right.
That went away. And when that went away, so went Shohei Ohtani. Mike Trout is one of the worst contracts in baseball, just
it is
purely based on his age,
including
his injuries,
this season.
including this season.
He's got 7 years left on his deal.
Including this season, he's got 7 years left.
$37 million a year.
I'm with you. I feel bad for him. I really do. And I feel bad for the Angels because they've lost, I think, 8 of 10 now. They're obviously not going to go anywhere, which is not a surprise or a shock. And you got one of the best players in baseball that's just rotting on an organization that's not going to do anything.
And then there's this. He was on a trajectory to become the greatest player of all time. That's not hyperbole. Through the first 9 years of his career, he won 3 MVPs. He finished second 4 times.
Wow.
Okay, so you're talking about 6 of 9 years where he was either first or second in the MVP, right? 7 of 9 years where he was either first or second. The other 2 years, he finished 3rd and 5th. Okay? He led the league in OPS for 4 out of 5 years. He's had an OPS of under 1,000 twice in his career, and both came in the last couple of years. He's led the league in RBIs. He's led the league in hits 4 different times. He's led the league in walks 3 different times. He led the league in steals 1 year. Steals. He had 49 steals his rookie season in baseball. He was an amazing guy. He was a can't-miss performer. That if you were a baseball fan, you're flipping around, you see an Angel game, you're stopping for no other reason than you want to see Mike Trout play. And it's MVP, second in the MVP, Silver Slugger, All-Star Game, MVP, just one after the other. And then the pandemic hit, and he played in 53 games, which is most of them. He only played 60, so he was fine and had a nice year. Year after that, he played 36. Oof. Year after that is the last time he had a really good year. He played 119 games and got MVP votes, right? This was where he finished 8th, won a Silver Slugger, made the All-Star team. He's a really good player. Last year, he played in 82 games. This year, let's say he misses 2 months, he's trending to play, and that's if he plays the rest of the way afterwards. In
100, yeah.
Probably less, probably in the 80s or 90s again. It's over. He's just on the wrong side of the age. He's getting hurt all the time, and the Angels can't do anything to make the team better. They have one of the worst farm systems in baseball. They can't really, even if he just woke up tomorrow morning and said, you know what, I want to be on a different team. I want to play in the postseason. I want a chance to go to the World Series. I don't know if they'd have a ton of chance moving him in any way other than just, all right, you take
There's
him.
ways.
We'll pay for it all.
They're going to be
but you got to give us some
of
prospects back. So they're still going to be taking it on the chin to the tune of nearly $40 million a year. Their best young guys are not very good. They're in no man's land, and this guy's career to show for it is one playoff appearance in his rookie year where they got swept by the Royals, and a Team USA appearance in the WBC where he struck out to lose the game to his teammate. It's just a brutal run.
Do you know what today there's an anniversary of the Guggenheim Group buying the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Pretty good day.
The reason why I mentioned that is ownership's everything, brother.
It sure is.
I mean, what you're talking about with the Angels and what you're talking about their situation, their predicament, and I'm not telling you Artie Moreno has control of his health. He doesn't, of Mike Trout's health. But he's got control of putting Mike Trout in a position to play in meaningful games, and that obviously hasn't happened. You know what's crazy, too, about baseball? The way it's structured now, the chances of making a wild card, I mean, this is as close as you got. Like, this is the best opportunity you have to be a 500 team and still be a few games over 500, and you're in a wild card
The Oakland
spot.
A's have been in the playoffs more recently than the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
The Oakland A's, the Colorado Rockies. Okay, the
Basically
very
every
worst
team.
The very worst teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You've had Mike Trout for 10 to 12 years. You've had Shohei Ohtani for 6, nothing. And now it's going this way. And look, I'd love to be wrong. I hope he gets healthy. I hope he comes back. I hope he's awesome. I hope next year he plays in 145 games and wins an MVP. That would be great. It's not going to happen. And it just stinks looking at it. I saw that yesterday, and it doesn't happen to me very often. Usually it's like, okay, whatever, next guy. It just bummed me out. The guy, one of the best I've ever seen, and it just felt, and you could see it on his face too. When he was at the press conference yesterday, he was emotional. And Mike Trout's not a particularly emotional guy. And he was emotional. You could tell it just was, it was a bad day for him.
Are tied for the longest active postseason drought. But
Don't tell me. Hold on. Okay. Not the Cubs. White Sox, Twino. White Sox jumped in my mind.
White Sox a good one.
Is it Colorado?
No.
It's not the Tigers, right?
Ooh, no. Tigers were in the World Series a couple of years in a row. Is it the Tigers?
It's the Tigers.
Is it really?
They both made the playoffs in 2015. And have not made it since.
The Tigers did not have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
No, they did not.
The Dodgers, though, they do have the Guggenheim Group. It's the 12th anniversary of them buying that team. Let's take a look at those 12 years. That's coming up. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
April showers will bring May flowers to my
10?
9:15.
9:15. Okay,
I
great.
think I was in bed under the covers around 9:20.
The opposite experience of you. Okay? I went to bed at my normal somewhere between 10 and 10:15, right? Sacked out. All of a sudden, wah, 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 from outside, car alarm. And I'm like, okay, that could be one of my vehicles, right? So I'm getting up. I'm getting dressed because we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I need to get dressed.
I honestly thought you just put your shoes on.
I need to get dressed before I
Nothing
can go
else.
outside. Trying to find the keys because I don't know which car it is that's making this noise.
Okay.
Think, could it be the Rotolo Silverado High Country?
Yep.
Could it be one of the kids' cars? Could it be Susan's car? So I'm trying to figure out.
You take the whole key rack with you outside.
I get all the way to my driveway. It's 1:15 in the morning. It's loud as hell. The entire
worst.
street.
The
And
worst, yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, I'm waking up the entire neighborhood. And because you're disoriented from sleep, I get all the way to the car and realize I don't have any keys, so I can't even turn this off if I want
and it
to.
is one of your cars.
So I turn back around and I go back into the house to go start to find the keys. Susan at this point is like, it's not one of our cars. I looked out the bedroom window.
Yeah.
It's the neighbor's car. I'm like, okay. So now I just got to wait for it to go. Wah, 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 wah. It keeps going for another probably minute or two.
Okay.
And I'm like,
A minute or two at 1:15 in the morning. By the way, Jorge was still up. That is basically an hour and a half.
It felt like it. Then Susan goes, wait a second. It is one of our cars.
Oh, my gosh.
So that Bobby had parked his car down the street, right? So she looked out the window and saw a car down the street going, and thought it was the neighbor's car. It was one of our cars. So then we had to go out and get it shut down. So everybody that lives on our street that was wide awake from
Hates you
about
right
1:15 to however long it took you to go back to sleep, I sincerely apologize. Our fault.
What happened?
I don't apologize.
I don't
Nobody
know.
breaking in?
No, car was fine.
Sometimes when cars go by past a car too fast, sometimes it'll set off an alarm. My street used to have it go off like every single night. Pretty much.
It was, and so, never really go back to sleep fully. And that disorientation that you have when you just wake up from a dead sleep to try to figure out what's going on in the world. Susan saw the wrong car. It was a mess.
By the way, the technology back in the day, I get it, with certain cars, very, very loud. Are new cars still like that with the alarms?
This is an old car, so
and I get the kind of the old car, but are new cars? Do we need to make it sound like the ambulance is coming by?
You hear them at Disneyland all the time.
10 years old.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, so I got woken up at 1 a.m. as well.
Last night?
Last night.
I was sound asleep.
I got introduced to my neighbors.
Oh. Oh. Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's what
they
I
like
said.
to party.
That's what
Let's
I
go.
said. Should have said
Yeah?
I got
It was a fun
Were they
little
having a good
Tuesday
time?
evening. Challengers came over from Challengers and had a fun little Tuesday
They're having a
evening.
good time.
Yeah.
Him or her were enjoying themselves, having a better
I
time.
think he was.
Okay. Okay.
By the rhythm? I don't know.
Yeah. By just
Yeah.
enthusiazm.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
the enthusiasm was there.
That's a nice little
It's
treat on a
Wednesday,
Tuesday.
technically.
Yeah.
Wednesday. When is the
Yeah,
morning? Wednesday.
exactly.
Hump day.
So, exactly. So I was like, oh, well, someone's having a great time. And then I was like,
You
well,
can't be mad at that, right?
what am I going to do?
No, I know, but like
Well,
even
let's just say this.
but you can't even be frustrated by it. It's like I get it.
What
Yeah.
if it's Tuesday and Thursday and Friday and
Look,
Sunday?
if they're that amorous, then at some point, like, hey, listen, man, I don't mean to cramp your style, but
Or
but
just
if
move
it's
it
just,
to a different wall.
I get it.
Go to the car.
But if it's just, look, they went out and they saw Tangled and they're feeling it, and all of a sudden that they're ready to come home and reenact the movie.
Exactly.
Wow, what are you gonna do?
And so, yeah, shouts out to my neighbors.
okay.
I like
Have
your
a great time,
reaction.
guys.
Oh. That was
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Look, it took me a second, but I got there. That's what do you? Dude, are they cool? Like
I
want to know
met
more about the young, old. Take me through this.
I met one of the girls so it's two female roommates are sharing that side of the wall with us. I met one of the roommates on Sunday when I moved in. Seems cool. She's about my age.
Okay.
Question: are they Latino?
No.
Okay. I'm about to say, good luck tonight.
Hey.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of follow-ups. We'll talk after the show. I have many, many things. Today is the day, the 12th anniversary of the Dodgers being sold to the Guggenheim Group that bought it for a then record $2.1 billion, which seems like a bargain at twice the price at this point.
Always sounds expensive in the beginning, and then you're always 10 years later.
Well, the Clippers went for a couple, right? And now they're probably worth at least 3.
Plus, they got an arena.
They got an arena, yeah. So very rarely do the value of these Well, think about, we just talked about the Angels a second ago. I don't know why it's number 6 in my head. I think this is right. I think Artie Moreno bought the Angels for $144 million, okay, in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He's going to sell them for over 3. I mean, from $144 million or $184 million. $184 million. Okay?
I don't know of a sports franchise, and maybe this has happened in soccer or something. I have no idea. But do you know of any franchise that lost money? I mean, listen, operating costs, all that.
Not
but
many.
What you bought it for and what it's worth today?
No. And you don't even and if you run it well, forget about it. If you run it poorly, it accumulates value no matter what.
Warriors building Chase Center in San Francisco.
So I think the Angels and the Dodgers comparison is a good one here because Artie Moreno bought this team for $184 million. It's probably worth $3 billion or so right now, and they've never done really much under Artie Moreno's leadership other than just kind of be there. Okay. The Guggenheim Group comes in, and 12 years ago, this is the previous ownership group of Frank McCourt did something that I thought would have taken years, if not decades, to do. They turned people off on the Dodgers. The ballpark was getting empty, which was never the case. The team was bad. The team was cheap. They were cutting corners. They were doing all sorts of things that funneling money to their own personal account. It was a bad deal. The whole thing stunk. Guggenheim comes in, and since they've come in, we know that they've won the division 10 of the last 11 years. The 1 year they didn't, they won 106 games. They've been to the World Series 3 times. They've won it once. They signed the best baseball player maybe ever to a $700 million deal. They signed Yamamoto to a $300 million deal.
Before that.
They did Mookie. They did Freddie.
Yep.
They've done Glasnow. They have
took chances at the trade deadline.
They've kept their best star homegrown guys here, Clayton Kershaw. They've never once walked away from something because it was expensive.
Seager. I think there were free agents they walked away from.
Seager, but Seager wasn't too. They had Trey Turner. I think they made a miscalculation on getting to keep Turner. But I don't know if it was we don't want to spend that. It was we don't want to spend that when we have another guy. But okay, give him Seager.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying this to. I think the Dodgers are responsible with their money.
Yes.
And I think that because of that, they have walked away from players that are still brilliant players that they wish they probably, hey, you know what, if we could do that back over again, would we have kept that guy?
Seager for sure.
And listen, and they have a philosophy of what they're doing. I'm not saying that they went cheap on a player. I'm saying that they have a game plan, and they thought, using Seager as an example, well, we just traded for Trey Turner to hold that spot. And if it's not Turner, we're going to spend our money somewhere else. And I'm not telling you this is ideal that their position is, but they've been smart with their money.
And that's a good way to say it. They've made mistakes here and there. They've done things that haven't worked out. But there's never been a point where you're looking at them going, are these guys committed to winning? Are these guys committed to doing the thing that needs to be done to get to that next step? Who's the best executive in baseball? If you asked 100 people, Andrew Friedman's name's shown up 50 times at least, right? Dave Roberts, who takes a ton of criticism on this show, on this station, for their postseason failures. If Dave Roberts became a free agent manager today, there'd be a line of teams trying to hire him. The ballpark experience at Dodger Stadium is much better than it was 10 or 12 or 15 years ago. They've renovated the outfield completely. It is a totally different game day experience than it used to be. Better than that. The food has been changed. I don't know if it's better, but it's been changed.
Can I ask you this? Sure. What is your criticism? If you have to find criticism, what would it be?
I think the only criticism is that they haven't won more, but they haven't won less because the ownership has been bad. They haven't won less because, you wouldn't go sign. Had they walked away from the Shohei thing, you could be frustrated from that. Had they gotten outbid by another team for Yamamoto, there have been some guys that have left, like you mentioned. I think Seager's the perfect one. I'm glad you brought it up. But it isn't like this series of they're not committed to winning. You can't look at what they've done and not believe that they're committed to continuing to win. And isn't that the only thing you can ask for?
I'll try to find a couple, and you tell me if this is fair or not. I think, and I don't know. I'm obviously not going to Dodger games every night. Is the experience, and this is all about supply and demand. There's still a demand. Dodger Stadium's going to be full. They're giving you a product to make you want to go. Mm-hmm. Is it too expensive? Would that be a criticism?
Can I just be a straight capitalist? When the ballpark is empty, that's when it's too expensive. Mm-hmm. It's not. Mm-hmm. Now, is it too expensive for the average guy? Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. But that's not how this works.
But here I'm going to go back to this. This is me reaching a little bit because I think if you're a fan, the only thing that you're asking for is your ownership wants to win as much as you do. Maybe that's not even fair. Maybe there's no such thing as you can have some rare circumstances where owners want to win just as much as a fan does. I think the only thing you can ask for from a fan perspective is, are they investing in the team? Do they want to win? Are they in the mix every single year? What the Guggenheim Group can't do is they can't come to the plate in the third inning of a game when you're down 2-1. They can't come close a game for you in the playoffs. They can't do that. Are they checking the boxes of we're competitive, we're in the mix every single year, we're investing in players that I want to actually go see or I want to go rock a jersey on? Are they responsible? I think they check the box, and it's a very, very rare ownership. As somebody who has a team that's in the NL West, that's a very, very difficult product to compete against because you're already in the LA market. You already have every resource possible, and on top of that, you're very, very responsible.
They're the richest and the smartest.
Mm-hmm. Responsible.
And without being reckless about it.
That usually doesn't merge together.
I also think we're seeing more of a trend of this where the best quote-unquote run organizations
are businesses
and not family businesses.
I agree.
Where it's not this one family and
I agree.
I'm not mentioning names, but it's not a fail son being the now owner of the organization. It's going to be who is going to have the most profit, have the most success with a group of people. Well, that's why I think the Guggenheim Group both has, Magic Johnson as a face of that group, but then it also has great business people.
Here's a good example. Now, I'll use a football analogy. Dean Spanos, at a time, that's how ownership was. I'm not telling you that it's not still families and everything else. Dude just doesn't have enough money to compete in the NFL. What I mean by that is he couldn't build his own stadium. He couldn't have his own brand. He couldn't. That world is almost done. Now, I'll just use the Lakers as an example. Jeannie Buss. It's one of the most powerful organizations in the entire world that happens to be owned by a family. But I think there's definitely times you'd say, okay, hey, I wish that wasn't run like a family operation. I wish it was run more like a business. So I do think that the Guggenheim Group coming in is, again, I think the frustration that Dodger fans have, I don't know if you can be mad at ownership that Mookie and Freddie go 1 for 22 in the playoffs.
No, that's it. And the only criticism that we all share as Dodger fans, I know you're not a Dodger fan, but
the manager?
But it's not an unreasonable criticism. But think about what we're criticizing. Guy's gone to the playoffs every year. He's been the manager of the Dodgers. They've gone to the World Series 3 times. Now, I understand.
I was just going to say, and I guess the question is that because he's the manager of great ownership that gives him every resource possible?
Could be.
The argument against Dave Roberts was less about Dave Roberts. It was more that you've tried this X amount of times. Just try something different.
I know. It's not this guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's we've done this and it's not working. Try something different. And it's more of hey, you need to be more reactionary. Nobody's asking to spend more money. Nobody's saying get better. They have better players. It's, hey, all this guy does is win 100 games a year and can't win the World Series. And I'm not saying I'm not frustrated. I would have made the change a while ago. I think at some point change is good for change's sake. Mm-hmm. But if that's the criticism, that you win 100 games every year and don't win the World Series, it's a pretty thin criticism.
You overanalyze, use the math too much. But it's also like they're not constantly asking what my dad would have done.
Yeah. But the math is the reason they win 100 games every year. The math is they said, okay, Ohtani, there is no math equation where he's not worth it.
Here's their win total since 2013, 92, 94, 92, 91. That actually is a stretch of their worst.
Yeah, that's the worst they've been.
The worst. You know how you get in the playoffs? Win 90 games.
Oh,
You're getting in the playoffs. 104, 92, 106, 106, 111. The 3 of the last 4 years, take out the
pandemic.
The pandemic only because there's only 60 games. By the way, that winning percentage, 43-17, is higher winning percentage than any of the other winning percentages that you have.
It projects to like 115 wins. That percentage.
Then don't take it up because that is the pace.
Yeah, and they're not going anywhere, but they better win this year. They better win this year.
Okay, and if they don't, it'll be stacked again next year.
I know.
And that's the only thing that I'm saying is that they could easily just face the Atlanta Braves and didn't make it to the World Series, and everyone's going to be pissed and upset and the whole thing. I get it. They're going to be good again next year.
Yeah, they are.
And
They'll
I
be
love
good again the year after that.
when people right now are tweeting at us throughout the season, it's like, oh, keep the same energy towards the Dodgers that you put towards the Lakers. The Lakers would have to be winning 70 games.
And be the number one
level.
seed
Yes.
year after
Yes.
year after year after year after year and have MVP after MVP after MVP or
And
at
making
least one
NBA
of the
finals multiple
yes,
times.
Yes.
It's not a good comp.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not because the ownership is very, very different.
But don't you worry, if the Dodgers do get bumped in the first series, we will keep the same energy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't have a $1 trillion payroll and get clipped by the Rockies. It won't be the Rockies. Oh, how about this, real quick? The Rockies have played 29 games so far this season. Okay, they set a major league record last night. 29 games. They have been behind in all of them. In every single game they've played this season,
that's incredible.
They have been behind.
Shout out to the Rockies.
Including last night. They took a 5-run lead into the 9th inning and had not been behind and lost.
The same franchise that had an entire section that was empty and asked me to move.
Been behind 29 times in a row?
That's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
I'm putting up a banner.
The NFL is going to get it right all over again. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
The most followed.
and Sliwa.
Day has the same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day. I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little preoccupied about your neighbors. I've got a Tuesday.
Wednesday, technically.
Good for Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Good for
fun
them.
time.
Good for them. That sounds like a fun way to spend a Wednesday.
Welcome, neighbor.
Yeah, that is a welcome to the neighborhood kind of moment. Like you're coming into a certain type of environment. Have you gotten to know any of your other neighbors?
I've met I've met two people total from two different units. So there's 4 units total in my building, and because it's basically like a duplex that's been separated. And met one of the girls of the place I share a wall with, and then I met one of the person on the lower level, and she was in her like late 30s, early 40s. She seems quite lovely, but she also had the yappy dog.
Oh yeah.
That was like, oh no, he's so friendly. And like,
Yeah, sure he is.
Yep. But I haven't heard the yappy dog. So
have you met
anybody
that you know well enough yet to ask to borrow their shower?
I have other friends that I
Scan
know well
close.
enough to borrow a shower.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday is when
Hot water.
Mr. Gas comes.
Have you taken another cold shower since?
Sorry?
Have you used the cold shower since?
No, but I showered at my gym.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday.
Just picture her coming in here just like lit up because she had to take another cold shower. That is the worst. That is the worst possible day to get your day started.
Yeah.
You ever fall in a cold pool, Slee?
I used to do so
Cold plunges?
after basketball. This was years ago, but after basketball, they'd have it's pretty big. It was kind of an old school gym, and they had the cold plunge, and it was like as big of a jacuzzi.
Okay.
Yeah, which are usually now they're like a lot smaller, whatever the case is. And I would get in there for about 2 minutes or so.
Oof.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's
brutal. The first 60 seconds, just complete brutal. If you can get past 60 seconds, a minute and a half, then you could be in there until you pass out.
It's not
until it's over.
Not for me, as they say. So Roger Goodell says that he has support for a potential, I don't know, new NFL schedule, a shift in the NFL schedule, however you kind of want to describe this. That right now what we have is 3 preseason games, 17 regular season games, and the postseason as we know it, right? Where it ends early Feb, Super Bowl Sunday. We know that schedule. The new potential schedule could be 2 preseason games, 18 regular season games, that they'd push the season a week deeper into the year. Super Bowl Sunday would now land on President's Day weekend, which means Super Bowl Sunday off Monday, something that we've been hoping for forever. What are we waiting for? What is the pushback? Where am I missing the flaw in this plan? Because this sounds amazing to me.
I don't think there's any flaws in it. I think if the Players Association has any pushback on it, well, nothing's going to happen because the NFL owners are the most powerful of them all. By the way, so weird, so different from baseball, right? Baseball, it's the players they got. Anyways, long story short, there's nothing in there. If I told you, and I know this is the NFL and the power of the NFL, I think if I told you, Trav, give me the perfect amount of games in baseball, what number do you think?
About 100.
Take all the financial out of it.
About
take
100.
all that stuff 100. I would say 120, and I'm good.
Sure, that's fine too.
That's a nice number there, 100, whatever it is. But you're reducing games.
Oh, yeah.
If I told you in the NBA there's 82 games
50.
a year, okay, I go 60. Okay, but we're reducing games. We're not saying, I know the finances, it's never going to happen. NFL is the only sport where when we're done eating, we're like, I need more.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I want more of the playoffs. By the way, forget the playoffs. I want more of the regular season. I'm good with that. They're the only sport that has that. So, and I think everybody knew when they went
what's the number?
When they went from 16 games to 17, I'm like, that ain't going to stay at 17. Like, this was just
and it's a weird number.
It's a weird number, but they did it just simply of, well, that's going to get us closer to the number that we want. If you said the right number, the perfect number, 20 would be the perfect number for me.
I think so, too. It fits.
Easy math.
It's easy math,
20 would be the perfect number.
And we'll see what it would look like if they do go to 18. Because
and you do have 20. You just have 2 preseason games or 3 preseason games.
There are 20 dates on the NFL calendar where you put on your uniforms and play games.
You start your Rams season in August.
Let's have them count the 20s and put 2. If you need, look, I'd even be all right with 3 bye weeks if you're going to extend this, because what makes the NFL and the NFL, I think, is the scarcity, right? That game 30 of the NBA season, game 42 of the baseball season, who cares, right? The Dodgers played the Diamondbacks last night. They lost in extra innings. Christian Walker hit a couple of home runs.
Yeah.
Who cares? Dodgers are going to win the division. We already know that already. And by the way, we're never looking back on game 29 and saying they blew it against the Diamondbacks on April 30th.
But you are looking back at that Packers game.
Yes.
You are looking back at, I'm sure
and
there's Ram games that you're looking at specifically.
And it could be in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
It could be in week 7. There's no game that isn't incredibly important.
Here's the biggest difference between the NFL and all the other sports. Your body. That's the problem.
Yeah, but they don't care about that.
I know they don't care about it, but I'm saying that's the issue with, let's hypothetically use what happened in the NBA for what they're trying to clean up is we got playing 82-game grind. I'm more worried. I want my stars and my players to be ready for the playoffs, not this 82-game grind. I don't really care where they end up in the standings. That's not uncommon. Are you watching an NFL game? Em, you brought this up earlier, and I think it's a great point. Are you watching an NFL game that now there's 20 games, and the Kansas City Chiefs decide, I'm sitting Patrick Mahomes this game?
Yep.
I'm not saying that you're not going to watch it, but that's not the same game.
No, it's not. And if all of a sudden you had, let's say there's 20 games, and you're load managing Patrick Mahomes for 2 of them, that's a problem. It's too many games. He needs to play in every game. Because even with 17 right now, it's very rare where somebody's got their seeding, their division locked up by week, even 15 and 16. That last week of the season, sometimes you're like, shut it down. But that's one game.
But if I'm the Chiefs, I start out the season, I'm 9-2 to start out the year, and my next game is against one of the worst teams in the NFL.
And I got a little knee thing.
And I also have a little cushion in the AFC West.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's the tipping point.
And that's what happens in the NBA is because you're playing 82 games.
The NFL has gone from a 14-game season to 16 to 17 to now where we're talking about maybe expanding beyond 17. The NFL went from it's football season from the end of the summer until after the new year to really the only month where we don't have something going on in the NFL is July. It's the only month that's kind of dark as far as NFL football. You've got the combine, you've got the draft, you've got free agency, you've got mini camps, you've got the season, the postseason. And we still are like, give me more. That we haven't hit the saturation point for the NFL at any point. Think about it. A bunch of guys running around in their underpants is television programming that we consume enthusiastically. Guys reading names on TV. From USC, quarterback Caleb Williams. There's 200,000 people in the streets.
Yeah.
That's only the NFL.
I think that there comes a point where there's different saturation. Like we're literally watching a Champions League game right now in the studio, and there's a saturation point with soccer. But soccer's once a week, every so often, and you have different series, different champions, different leagues, tournaments that get you excited for different things. So I think that soccer has learned
Plus package because I tried watching the game.
Yeah. Soccer has learned how to basically do 12 months out of the year where you have good soccer on all the time. I think that everywhere has a overexposure limit. I'm going to tie this back to things that I always tie back to Taylor Swift. Okay, so in times in her career,
now I understand.
She has reached an oversaturation point. She just tries to keep pulling it up, see where she can let, and then she'll retreat and she'll go back. So right now, like I think I mentioned when I broke down the album why I didn't like it as much is that I thought that you want people saying more, not again.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think the NFL, like we've all been mentioning,
do you think they're at again at 20 games?
Because I haven't seen it. I don't know. I think that I don't think 20 would be
We won't know
it.
until it's too many.
Exactly.
I think the only issue they can have, 20 games, I don't think anybody's saying again. I think if you're saying, well, the best players in the world aren't playing this week. That's the only time that I think you're saying, okay, well, have you hit a saturation based off of the best players aren't playing?
If we're going to compare the NFL to something that I just thought about this is if you compare that to the World Cup. The World Cup went from 64 games. In 2 years, in 2026, it's going to be 104 games. They added 40 games. Yes, it's across 3 different countries in 2026, but they're giving you
it's every 4 years.
Exactly, but they're giving you a product that the whole world is watching.
Yep.
The NFL does the same thing. They go to Germany. They go to Mexico.
Brazil.
They're going to go to Brazil now. So if you want to compare this, it's going to work. If they go to 20 games, in my opinion, it is going to work. The more football, the more soccer we get.
They're literally the only sport where you're asking for, we could do more, where all of the other sports, regular season, we're asking for less.
And you've got the Super Bowl on a Sunday before a 3-day weekend, potentially.
And it's a one game, just like the World Cup. It's one game. The Super Bowl is one game. World Cup Finals one game.
Sure.
These finals are one game. It's just that one game that decides it all. It's what makes it,
Sure.
Do we have to come to work on Monday? If the Super Bowl is on a Sunday of a 3-day weekend, do we have to come to work on Monday?
Definitely do.
Then leave it on Sunday. I want to ruin it for everybody else.
They have a better shot moving that than moving it back to a Saturday, don't they?
I don't think they're going to put it on a Saturday.
It
I think, look, if there's anything that would be day of the week proof, it would be the Super Bowl. But nothing good on TV is on a Saturday other than college football. And you need programming. There's 88 games a day. But everything else, nothing's on Friday and Saturday night are black hole for TV. They just don't.
Bowling.
A little bit different. I watched bowling the other day.
Yeah, me too.
That guy uses 2 hands. They do 2 hands now. Have you seen that? Have you seen that?
No.
It's insane.
That
They hold it
legal?
almost like a baby, right? And they go up and they spin it with 2 hands instead of holding it with
And
one.
it still hugs a lane.
And it still has that big curve and everything else, but like that's got to be cheating. It's like throwing a spitball. Can't do that. I watched it for like
Freaking
45
cheaters.
minutes. I'm like, they're going to just, nobody's going to say anything about that. I guess I'm new to the bowling game. Hot and cold coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Hot is Prize Picks. Because Prize Picks can win you money, Slee. Prize Picks is easy to use. Prize Picks is super fun. That's why you got to put the Prize Picks app on your phone. Because here's what you do. You look at the statistical projections. You like hockey? There's hockey. You like the NBA? There's playoff games tonight. You like Major League Baseball? Say, Shohei Ohtani, is he going to get more than 1.5 hits tonight? You pick more or less. That's Prize Picks, and you can win up to 100 times your money.
All right, we all already know there's 5 million members right now using Prize Picks, so this is an easy sell here. More or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Start looking at all the teams that are in. I mean, I'm looking at the NBA, and tonight you could look at what's Luka's point total, what's Paul George's point total, James Harden. You could look at assists. You could look at rebounds. You could do combos where you're picking more than just one sport. You don't have to just do the NBA, even though I'm going to be doing it. Download the app today. Use the code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Welcome the new partner here at 710 ESPN, NextGen. NextGen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGen, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to NextGen.
Boy, time for Who's Hot, Who's Cold. Take it away, Producer M.
Hey, guys.
Aloha.
What's up?
I'll always love Dortmund.
yeah, big Dortmund guy over here.
Goalkeeper's name.
Dave.
David.
Oh, man. But anyway, the Champions League going on right now. Dortmund's up 1-0 over PSG.
Semi-final game.
Big time for the Bundesliga because Bayern Munich had a draw yesterday against Real Madrid. But also before, this is the first time that Dortmund has been in the Champions League semifinal, and they were packing the streets, and
awesome.
some of the images are super cool. So just updating what we're going on here. Yeah, Al, huge Dortmund head. Yeah, big fan.
All my ESPN score updates.
Just
bam.
Notifications.
Padres and Aztecs.
Notifications. Start of the game, halftime, who scores,
Final.
red cards, close game.
Who's hot is the Philadelphia 76ers Fanatic CEO. So Josh Harris, David Blitzer, and David Eldman and Fanatic CEO Michael Rubin have bought 2,000 tickets for Game 6 of the 76ers and Knicks in the NBA playoff series because the last time the Philadelphia 76ers hosted the game, Joel Embiid was making a point to say that the Knicks had bought so many tickets that their fans had overtaken the 76ers arena, which is rare in Philadelphia to have someone else come into your arena.
That's an LA thing, quite frankly. That's not a Philly thing.
Those fans are rabid in Philadelphia. To have them overdone.
So couple ways to look at this. Number one, it's cool gesture from ownership that, okay, you're buying 2,000 tickets. It's also like, what the hell's going on here? It's Game 6. You're in the playoffs. You're the Philadelphia 76ers, and you need the ownership to buy tickets. That doesn't go with a Philly market. This is the explanation that I was told. To get into a Knicks game at the Madison Square Garden, it's so like expensive. $500+ just to get in. So a lot of these Knicks fans that couldn't afford it said, okay,
I'll take the Amtrak down to Philly.
I'm going to go down to Philly.
It was a couple hours?
I'll just
less.
I'll just buy a ticket, or I'm going to drive down. However they get down there, I get the thought process of it. I'm just surprised that that's happening in Philly.
Just one more piece of information about this, though. Those 2,000 tickets will go to first responders, healthcare professionals, community groups, and local organizations. So they're going to be packed with both 76ers fans and people in the community that deserve to have, things given to them.
It's a wonderful gesture, and you're giving them to the right people.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? That's all good. It's the market, man. If that guy over there's got more money and wants to go to the game, and I'm a fan, and I can fund a different part of my life by selling these tickets to this thing, we're all driven by our economics. If you're fortunate enough to where, no, I just want to go to the game, I'm going to be able to pay my rent, my car payment, my health insurance, it doesn't matter, I'm going to go. But if it's, well, I got these things over here, it's going to be pretty tight, I could actually cover all of these things and just not go to tonight's game, I get it.
But you're not a Philadelphia sports fan. Go,
but here's the thing.
Everybody's got a number. Everybody does.
I think it's also
water race.
The Knicks are not always in the mix.
Yeah.
And the Knicks it's a great fan base, right? The New York Knicks that's a huge franchise. They're not in playoffs all the time, so I think there's just a surge right now because they are.
Go Bird, the Schuylkill, water race. Whenever I do impressions, I can only say words, and the words that'll kind of put me back into that place. The Warsh.
I like it. My dad says Warsh. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, but he's from
Crick instead of Creek.
South,
he's from Oregon.
Right? No,
my grandfather was from
South.
Mississippi. Yeah.
So what's cold? I'm going to say Tyrese Maxey.
Oh my
he's
God.
a cold man.
Cold-blooded.
So I'm going to play the call from MSG. So this is the MSG Network's call of Tyrese Maxey's three to tie the game.
Knicks by 3, 15 seconds remaining. Into the hands of Maxey. One thing the Knicks can't afford is a three-point attempt. Maxey launches the three. Oh, he knocks it in! Tyrese Maxey.
You are the man.
And I just find it so funny because I love the call because he's like, the only thing they can't give up is a 3-0 no. And I love Tyrese Maxey passing by Tracy Morgan and Ben Stiller. Tracy Morgan flipping him the bird and everything. That's exactly Knick behavior. And to those specific Knick fans, it's great.
This has been 2 games this series. Trav, one of the first things you said this morning, we talked about it. You're like, did you see the Knicks-Sixers game?
It was nuts.
Okay, that happened a week ago.
Yeah.
Right when I think the Sixers had a 5-point lead.
DiVincenzo hit that 3, the double bang.
Exactly, the double bang. Yeah. Tyrese Maxey loses the ball. They don't use one of their timeouts. It was a colossal failure. That was at the Garden, too. That was game 2. Game 5 coming back there, they're up 6. With 25 seconds left to go. Maxey hits a 3 and gets fouled.
Gets a 4-point play.
Josh Hart misses a free throw on the other side, hits a 3, and then they go into OT.
The guy scored 7 points in 25 seconds.
What?
I mean, it was one of those. This is why anything could happen. That's why we keep it on. Like, not to be too cheesy about it. The reason we keep it on is because that happens. It happens just enough to say, hey, he could get fouled taking a 3 and make it, and they could miss one, and we could throw. We stick around for that. It happens 1 out of 100 times, but it happens enough that we watch it. It was awesome.
I was about 30 seconds away from churning it off.
Yeah.
Lakers talk was about to come on. So I'm like, all right, this game's over. I'm going to churn off the game. If I didn't, I wouldn't have seen the score until the game was over in overtime. We'd be wondering, what the hell just happened here?
It was awesome. Again, I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not a Sixers fan, but I am an excitement fan. It's like, no, he's not going to make that. Oh, you start yelling. It was terrific.
That's why you're so interested in My Neighbors. You're an excitement fan.
Well, yeah. I mean, depending on how that excitement is manifested, I sure am. Who's hot? Who's cold? Is brought to you by NextGen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3-NEXTGen. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. Or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. The Dump's coming up next. A little super crosstalk. Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Steve.
And this is probably a good one for you, I think. Were you a SpongeBob fan?
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah.
I'm
not surprised to hear that at all. People of your generation, that's their show when they were kids, right? Like that's
Simpsons, right?
Yeah, and
Hoopla!
They still quote it. There's the thing that applies to it. I am complete. Other than I know
this
that
is Patrick.
I know Patrick's the star. I know Krebsworth is the grumpy old man. Is that his name? Krebs. Krebs? Mr. Krebs?
No,
Mr.
Squidward.
Krabs.
Oh,
Mr. Krabs.
It's Squidward.
I
Mr.
call him
Krabs.
Krebs. Squidward. That's what I'm thinking of.
Plankton.
Don't know that one.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Yeah. But that was your guy's show,
I
yes?
know nothing about that show.
Yeah, I don't know much.
that show up. I love that show. I love the movie. It's one of my favorite things to watch now as an adult high, because that show is like very adult. It has a lot of adult humor.
Of course.
The character's name is Sandy Cheeks in Bikini Bottom.
That's why The Simpsons works. Is it's not a kid show; it's an adult show masquerading as a kid show.
When you go see a Disney show or something like that, you go see a Toy Story, something like that. It's also entertaining to the parents.
Of course,
sure, you have to be.
Shrek was the one that pushed it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shrek
Shrek really pushed it.
It's a good one.
Can I tell you one of the things that used to annoy me about that show? So there's an episode where it's kind of like not a bottle episode, but it's an episode that's supposed to be like the training video for the Krusty Krabs. The Krusty Krabs where SpongeBob works. He is a line cook at the Krusty Krab. He makes these Krabby Patties. Krabby Patties are what they sell. There's a big lore about what is in the Krabby Patty. Don't get me into it. But this training video, your SpongeBob is like, they're filming him around doing stuff, and they're about to reveal the secret sauce. And I'm watching this at like 7 years old, 6 years old. I don't understand how TV works. And so they're about to reveal what's the secret ingredient in the Krabby Patty. And then also this person says, hoopla, a lot. So they're like, what's all the hoopla about? That's why I said hoopla earlier. Anyway, they're about to reveal the secret ingredient. And then the show cuts off. It's almost like, it was like My Sopranos.
I was going to say, they Soprano'd you.
I was like, I need to know what the secret ingredient in the Krabby Patty is. And I, to this day, am still annoyed at Nickelodeon for doing that. Because I really want to know. It's probably okay. Well,
she'll never get over it.
Do we want to know the lore? This is my rabbit hole. The lore of SpongeBob heads is that the actual ingredient in Krabby Patties is crabs, because Mr. Krabs is the only crab. His daughter is a dolphin. No, not a dolphin, a whale.
Whale.
So how's his daughter a whale and he's a crab? But the secret ingredient of Krabby Patties is that it's actually crabs. He is he's a cannibal and has everyone eating crabs.
Well, that's not very nice.
What are they selling? Chocolates.
This can't be right. You must have typed this wrong, because this cannot be true. 1988, May 1st. Michael Jordan scored 55 points. That's not the hard part to believe. Michael Jordan scored 55 points on 24 for 45 shooting from the field while making all 7 of his free throws to lead the Bulls to a Game 2 win. In a series they would win in 5. I believe all of that. This is the part that just is like, say what? This is one of Jordan's 5 55-point playoff games in his career, giving him as many 55-point playoff games as all other players in NBA history combined. No other players have done it more than once. What? He had 5 55-point playoff games? The rest of the league doesn't have 5 of them ever? That's
I'm trying to think
crazy.
here. Wait a minute here. Is that possible?
I mean, probably Donovan Mitchell has one, but I don't think he has multiple.
Okay, we always say Wilt, right?
Wilt's
always the one. Kobe doesn't have multiple? Wow.
55's a ton of points.
Okay, how about today's NBA?
Okay.
Let's see. Who yesterday? You got
Curry's
Brunson that
Curry's
had 40
not getting
plus.
But okay, we got to get
Maxey
15
had
more.
40
Do we want to do a very quick last man standing for who has scored other than Michael Jordan
Yes.
a 55-point playoff game?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get it started. All right, so Travis, what is your first pick for who has a 55-point playoff game?
LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron James does not have one.
Yeah.
Al?
I mean, they're going to be random ones, but okay, I'll go with Kobe.
Kobe does not have one.
Okay, well, let me think here.
I got another one.
I've got another just random guess.
I got kind of a random one, but also was a peak playoff performer.
Okay.
Go.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade does not have one.
All right. Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar does not have one.
Wilt?
Yes, Wilt
Okay.
has one. Okay,
Yeah.
we're on the board.
All right.
How does Wilt only have one of those?
Are these names that there's not some random
You know
one?
all these people.
Okay.
KD.
Actually, I mean, one maybe you don't know.
KD.
No, KD.
Steph.
Don't we just give them to you?
Yes.
All right. So Wilt Chamberlain in 1962, Elgin Baylor in 1962.
Can I guess one?
Go ahead.
Rick Barry.
Yes, Rick Barry in 1967. That was
Good
one I
job,
didn't really
Parker.
know off the top of my head. All right, so Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had one last year.
Dame. No, but I don't even know if I remember.
Jordan
Dame.
had 5.
2021.
He had 5.
Yes.
That's
5
crazy.
55-point games in your career is nuts. 5 55-point games in the postseason?
But here's the funny thing. When you read that stat, to me it was more, what do you mean there aren't more people that have done it?
John, did you hear what we were just talking about by
today's
chance?
NBA.
Okay, I'm curious. You're the NBA guy. Michael Jordan, today is the anniversary of him scoring 55 points in a playoff game, which he did 5 times in his career in the playoffs.
He scored north of 55 times?
Or 55
okay,
times.
North of 55.
Okay. Emily, how many others have there been?
So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Can you guess how many any of those other 8 players that have done it? Because
and they've only done it once.
Each of them have only done it one time.
I'm trying to remember. I think Elgin Baylor had 61 in a playoff game.
Okay.
Yeah, 61.
There's one.
62.
I would imagine Wilt is on that
The
list
obvious
somewhere.
one, yep.
Michael says, whenever you get a scoring trivia question, the
Throw
answer
Wilt in
is
there.
always Wilt.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of... Now, does the play-in tournament count?
No, this is playoffs. I believe.
Okay, because Jason Tatum had 50 in the play-in tournament.
Keep in mind, it's 55.
Okay, so it's 55 or more points.
I'll give you one hint. Okay. Not the most common names that you would just, hey, it's Kobe.
It's not Steph. It's not Kobe. It's not LeBron.
It's not them.
Yeah, besides Elgin, because I know he has the Laker playoff record, and Wilt, who's involved in everything. I don't know any other ones for sure. I could guess, like Harden is probably in there somewhere.
It's a good guess.
Not on the list.
Led the league in scoring 3 times.
Yep.
I'm trying to think like
one. What if I give you this clue? One happened last year
in the playoffs.
Yes.
Was it Embiid?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Butler.
So
Jimmy Butler had a 55-point game last year.
Doing all of
I don't
them?
even remember.
Yeah, sure.
It's Jimmy Butler 2023, Damian Lillard 2021, Donovan Mitchell 2020, Allen Iverson 2003, Charles Barkley 1994, Rick Barry 1967, Elgin Baylor 1962, and Wilt 1962.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Jordan did it 5 times.
He's pretty good.
Well, because teams actually play defense in the playoffs, believe it or not. Yeah.
5 of those along the way. Let's do a little Supercross talk. Bonk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
John, don't you usually shut it down after the Laker season is over? Are you getting ready to head out the door?
Just going to Idaho.
Oh, okay.
But I'll do the show from up there a lot. I'm going to miss a couple of days in 2 weeks, but I'll be here for all the other days.
You ever played that Island Green
all
thing?
the time?
Oh, you played all the time?
All the time. Okay. Yeah, if you come out there and see me, I'll take you out
What's
there.
Island Green?
So there's in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, there's a golf course that has a green that's floating in the middle of Lake Coeur d'Alene.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's on. Okay, so here's how it works. It's a hydraulic lift, so it changes the distance of the green every day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it can go anywhere from 150 to 220 yards.
And it's a par 3.
Yes. And you have to you hit your tee shot, and then you take a boat out to...
Wow, that's cool.
And it is, Trav, it is the most well-maintained golf course I've ever played.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, they used to have, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have 4 caddies to go along with the after caddies. So here's a bunch of pictures of it, Mace. So you...
Oh, how cool is that?
So you hit your tee shot, you get on the boat, which is called putter.
Is there a captain of this boat that goes... Okay.
It's an attractive young girl.
Oh.
She'll give you candy.
Oh, nice.
Go
On the ride out to the green,
on the ride
you
out
get
to the
candy?
green,
That's
you
nice.
go putt, and then you come back in. Now, and if you par it, you get a certificate that you conquered the island green.
Okay.
Here's the strategy, though. They have these geraniums all around the outside of the green, and if you hit it in the geraniums, it's a free drop.
Oh.
So you should never be short.
Oh, okay.
All right, just hit it into the geraniums, take your free drop, get up and down.
I
and
find
you're
a
done.
way to get in the water.
Yeah,
Most
without
people do.
question.
Mace,
Most
take a
people
look
do.
at that picture and then hand it to John, please. Okay.
All right, so while we're doing that,
Yeah.
There you go.
let me. Okay.
Okay.
So what am I looking at?
So that's a refrigerator,
Yes, it
obviously.
is.
Is that your garage
It
refrigerator?
is not my. So okay, that's what I was getting at. If you had to guess who is the owner of that refrigerator,
Bergman.
Okay,
That's
but
a great
give me a sketch of the
All right,
person that
so
owns that refrigerator.
It's nothing but Coors beer. It's about 20 Coors. It looks like there is some cheese and some
Cold cuts.
Yeah,
Some
cold
fruit in the
cuts,
back,
and then
some
there,
salad
but
packets.
there is one poppy soda, which means it might be a
Oh,
girl.
no, it's healthy. That's got the probiotics in it.
Okay.
I would say
There's
but I
a
would,
basket of fruit.
I would say that's somebody who never eats at home.
Okay.
Somebody who orders in Grubhub or Postmates or all that stuff.
I don't think it's you.
It's not me.
It's not Bergman?
It's not Bergman.
There are 19 beers sitting in
There's
the right
19
there.
Coors Yellow Jackets in
My
that
guess
fridge.
is that it is a single man.
Yeah, that's
or
that's
like
what I
a
would think.
64-year-old divorced teamster, right?
Right. Or either one of those close.
It's Emily's refrigerator.
That's Emily's fridge?
I
Emily.
have no gas right now. I can't cook.
She just moved. She
Okay.
just moved.
Oh, so you can't do any cooking? You don't have any gas for the stove?
No.
If it was normal, what else? If you did have heat, cooking ability, what else would be in that fridge?
I would probably have either chicken or
Ketchup.
steak or beef. I'd probably have some leftovers. I'd have things that I would have cooked. I would actually have things in my fridge. But right now, I just have things that do not require heat in order to be
Well, I
prepared.
said it was a single person. I said it's a single man. That's where I missed.
It's the beer. The beer
poppy
throws you
soda
off.
Yeah,
shouldn't
that's a
tip
lot
me
of
towards
beer.
Emily.
That's a lot of beer.
And it's not light beer.
And it's a specific type of beer.
Yeah.
It's fully leaded, canned American
Yeah,
beer.
you have really gone
like
all
I
in on
was
that.
expecting like Michelob Ultra. In
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I-
That's
Only
finishing
2.5
a
carbs.
beer That's
It's
like
only worth it if
crunching
you
it up
enjoy
and
it.
throwing
Exactly.
it against the wall.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's interesting. What's the one thing in your refrigerator that it's always there no matter what? Like weird item. Always available in your fridge.
Multiple varieties of hot sauce.
Yeah, I am a big hot sauce.
There's probably 7 or 8 bottles of hot sauce in my refrigerator at all times.
What's the best?
Pickles weird?
What are we eating?
Cholula?
I love Cholula.
Cholula's
Cholula's in
my
there for
favorite
sure.
of them,
Cholula's a little more tropical. I like Cholula on some eggs. I like it on some other things. It depends. You want a little more like the Tapatio's a little smokier.
Yeah,
That's good
okay.
for more of a
all right,
Mexican
boy, you
style
are
thing.
really down
Yeah.
to the.
That's why I think
yeah.
last.
Yeah, Slee, weird
Is
thing in
pickles
your
weird? Always pickles?
Pickles are
Always
great.
having pickles?
pickles are great. No, do you eat a lot of pickles?
Yeah.
You ever gotten that
They're
bucket
really good
of
for
pickles
you.
from Costco? Are you a pickle fan,
I'm
Ireland?
not, but
okay.
I've seen that, what you're talking
They got
about.
a big bucket of pickles at. You've never known this because you've never
I've
been to
never
Costco.
been to a Costco.
It's like
Never-
a paint bucket sized bucket. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, filled with little pickle chips or spears, depending
Yeah.
on what you're in the mood for. Best pickles you've ever had in your life, and they literally sell them.
The
by
one
the
thing you will
bucket.
always find in my refrigerator, and this kind of goes to pickles, is sauerkraut. I eat
Really?
I ate a big forkful of sauerkraut every night. It's like a probiotic thing. Anything like pickles have the same thing. Trader Joe's has this mix of sauerkraut and pickles together that is delicious, and I have a
You
forkful
just
of that
eat the
every night.
sauerkraut
Just
straight, Evan?
one forkful. It's good for you.
Tangy.
It is tangy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, so here's a question I was going to ask you guys. I asked this to Mace yesterday. At the end of Slee, my guess is you didn't even notice this. I think most people didn't notice it.
Oh, yeah, this is good.
At the end of the Lakers-Nuggets game the other night, Jamal Murray hits what turned out to be the game winner, puts them up 108-106. The Lakers have no timeouts. They have 3 seconds left. They inbound the ball to LeBron. He gets double or triple teamed. He throws the ball to Taurean Prince, who shoots like a 45-footer. He was basically
clocked.
Tackled.
Yeah.
All right. Obvious foul. Like not even a question. This was a foul.
Would have been 3-shot foul.
Would have been a 3-shot foul. If you're the ref, do you call it?
I have a problem with the premise of this to begin with.
Meaning what?
I don't
think it was an obvious foul.
Oh, no. It's so.
wasn't
We looked at it
I
yesterday.
just saw it
It's
again.
So,
I
it's
just
so
saw it.
obvious.
Wait. Is it because I there was a moment when it was happening live where I'm like, would they actually call this right here?
Right. I'm
but
telling
isn't
you right
Torian
now-
Prince going into KCP?
I'm telling
that's
you,
interesting.
But
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, if I was a ref in that game, I wouldn't have called it.
I don't think
you can't-
I don't think you
call
get
it.
out of the building alive if you do.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, you can't
good,
call that.
Good if it like there are people like Stu Lance is an absolutist on this. He says if it's a foul in the first quarter, it's a foul in
Which
the
is
fourth
fair.
quarter. In the first quarter, this absolutely would have been called a foul. But I think there are circumstances, and this would be one of them, where you have to measure what you're about to do to the game. So Torian Prince is throwing up a 45-footer.
Sure.
The chances of that going in are probably 1%. You're going to give him 3 free throws when his team is down 2 to swing a playoff game. I wouldn't have done it.
John, does it matter if they were down 3? Because the best that could happen is he ties it and you keep playing. But it's it too because now you're now you're potentially giving the Lakers a win on a ticky-tack-ish foul call.
I don't think you call that because of how far he is from the basket.
I agree.
Unless it is just completely obvious. But I didn't think it was obvious.
I didn't think.
I
right
think
here.
if
I
you
think
guys
it's
go
pretty
back and
obvious.
watch it, I think
I
he'll
watched
come
it
around.
a few times because
show that to Trav.
it felt
Torian
like
going into
Torian Prince was because he's shooting from half court. He's moving
All right,
forward.
watch this and just tell me what you think just after seeing it up close.
Yeah, roll back.
I'm surprised he even got the shot off. Like his for LeBron to throw it to him and he still gets the shot off.
Trav, that is called a foul 90% of the time.
I
don't
see it.
Anything
I would
different?
not have
No.
called it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have called it, but
I
I think it is a foul.
So I don't know how many Super Bowls it was, 4 or 5. The Ravens 49ers, the Kaepernick, the Harbaugh brothers Super Bowl.
Right. Where the power went out.
That game. There was a play in the corner of the end zone that was not flagged for pass interference that the 49ers, Michael Crabtree was the receiver. I forget who the defender was. And it was kind of one of those, in the first quarter of the game, I think the flag probably
Rams
comes
went
out.
to the Super Bowl one year in New Orleans when
I didn't see a penalty on that. I saw no foul on.
Even the guy who did it, Nickel Roby
Yeah.
Colby,
Yeah,
said, I laid him out on a waffle
I
house frying pan.
I know Saints fans think that. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
This is how Mason is with. There's a couple of things where he just refused to accept fact.
Well,
that's one of them. The other one is Pete Carroll had zero
Come
knowledge
on, read
that Reggie
the
Bush was on
friggin'
the tape.
report.
Listen,
Wait,
I
there's
did.
no knowledge on
It's
what?
a
I read all
36-page
36
report.
pages.
They literally say did not have knowledge of.
Yeah.
Now, what about that? Do you disagree with? What about that report do you disagree with?
When
it
Reggie
says
Bush,
he did not have knowledge
When
of.
Reggie Bush pulled up to practice in a brand new Dodge Charger,
By the way,
you're not asking any questions?
Okay. What I know of Reggie Bush is that his mom got a rental house in San Diego for free for like 7 months. That was the extent. Now guys are making millions. In the context of the world, that's ridiculous.
Well, I understand that now it's ridiculous. At the time, it was not ridiculous. That was the rule. There's the law of the land, as we like to say.
Right.
And that team, there are 5 guys I need to know what you're up to. I need to know what Matt Leinart, Lendell White, Reggie Bush,
but you
Dwayne
need to know
Jarrett,
where his parents are.
Yeah, I
need to know where his parents are living in San Diego.
I know what the economic situation of my 5 best guys are. And if something is not aligned with that, I need to know.
John McKay told me, young John the son, told me once.
There was no cheating during that era.
That
no, never.
None.
He, his whole job, he was basically Pat Hayden's assistant athletic director. He said, my whole job, and Pat has explained it to me this way, is keep me off the ESPN ticker. He goes, that's what funny. He goes, that is
game plan.
He goes, so all this stuff you guys are talking about falls under my purview.
I got a Reggie Bush story.
Oh, good.
When I was I was a little kid, he was his freshman year at USC in San Diego, and my parents went out for a nice anniversary dinner to Ruth Chris.
Yep.
He was there. by himself kind of deal, like no parents.
By himself?
No parents, like an entourage.
Okay, got it.
You know,
he's a freshman at SC.
A freshman at SC.
Most expensive restaurant in San Diego.
Big ball, and they had everything coming to the table. He had the biggest hearing.
By the way, here's
out like crazy.
By the way, I think that happens at every school.
Here's another little nugget.
Reggie Bush.
He wasn't the only one that was doing stuff like that. He got singled out.
Of course he was.
Because his mom had a house in San Diego.
That is a better argument. That why did I get singled out when it's going on everywhere?
And it's also a different argument from Pete Carroll knew nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Well, yeah.
All I can go is by the report.
Mace, why do you think he knew nothing?
Because it was look.
Because he doesn't want to.
Of course he knew.
No, I don't
care.
You know that
By
one
the way,
of your
the-
players'
the-
moms has a house in
Mace,
San Diego.
The Warren Commission report is very clear. Lee Harvey Oswald
Right.
acted
But-
alone.
but
You
do
buy that?
Do you think every coach has to know where their players' parents live?
Where their
Is
best
that-
player is? The guy that won the
sure,
Heisman?
the best.
Yes.
That you need to
Yes.
know where
Where your Heisman Trophy winning
Caleb
running back.
Williams' mom lives. You
Mace,
need to know.
Mace,
where, you do have to know all that.
Yes.
Are you
well,
saying?
Pete did not.
Are you saying it's like, hey, I don't want to know. I know something's
Sure.
going on, but I don't want to know.
He didn't want to know. He does not know.
There's a great scene in the movie Blue
That I could buy.
Chips where Nick Nolte is talking to Bob Cousy, who plays the athletic director at that mythical school.
Right.
And Nick Nolte goes, hey, man, I didn't even know this. They've got like 2 linebackers and a quarterback on the payroll, and now he's coming after my players. Are we just supposed to look the other way on this? And Bob Cousy looks at him and goes, I don't know anything about what you're talking about, and
awesome.
I don't want to know.
Right.
And he walks out.
What's the phrase? Plausible deniability.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Plausible deniability.
I don't know how Reggie's mother lives in that house or why he's driving
By the way,
that
what's-
car or
what's
what
interesting
steak he
is
ordered at Ruth Chris.
when
I choose not to know.
When I
According to
was
the
a
report,
freshman-
Pete has plausible deniability. Mike
Right.
Garrett does not.
All right. So when
They did link it to Mike Garrett.
When I was a freshman at UCLA, 4 of our best basketball players all showed up in the same colored brown Trans Am from the same dealer the minute their sophomore year started. And we all started looking around going, Rod Foster and Cliff Pruitt and Kenny Fields all have the exact same brand new Trans Am.
What are the chances?
By the
3
way,
years later, we're on probation.
And this is everywhere, by the way. When I was going to Bowling Green State University, we had a really good quarterback named Brian McClure, led the team to an undefeated record, and he was driving a Corvette. And to the best of my knowledge,
That saved up a lot in high school.
The argument
he
isn't
saved
that
up a
other
lot of
people
that
weren't
paper
doing
money.
it, and I don't. By the way, I don't have a problem that they were doing it then. I don't have a problem that they're
Right.
doing it now.
Right.
At least you don't have to hide it now.
You just have to be a little more cautious with your 4 or 5 best guys to make sure that it's not quite that easy to put the pieces together.
Trav, in your entire baseball career, high school through college, did you ever have a game postponed because of bees?
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yes.
Really?
It wasn't mine. It was my son's.
Okay.
I told this story earlier today. We're at the Little League field. He's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And almost exactly what happened at the Dodger game last night happened on the backstop at the Laguna Niguel Little League
Like a
field.
bee's nest.
A beehive
Yeah.
took shape out of nowhere. Just all of a sudden, the queen flew into one of the pipes holding up the fence.
Wow.
And the next thing you know, there's hundreds
That's
of
so
bees on the
weird.
top of the
Yeah.
fence. Somebody, I don't even know who made the call, calls the city. The city's like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll be right over. Half hour later, guy pulls up in a truck, a can of smoke and a ladder. Okay, he puts the ladder against
Kinda
the,
like
the
what they did
backstop.
last night.
He goes up there, and all he didn't even have like the beekeeping outfit.
Really?
He had
Right.
the can of smoke and a big glove.
See, I think those guys just don't mind if they get stung.
So he sprays the area. The bees kind of calm down with the smoke or whatever. He reaches in, he grabs the queen, puts it in this little like pouch almost, right? The bees disperse. He leaves. Game resumes.
Wow.
It took an hour. But yeah, it happens occasionally.
Well, last night the guy
How long
apparently
was
left
the delay
his
last
2
night?
hours.
he left his kid's t-ball game to go over to the stadium to get rid of the bees, and then they let him throw out the
That
opening
was the
pitch,
best
which
part.
was
And he
really
had the
cool.
beekeeper's mask
Yeah.
hanging behind his
That was
head.
very
when-
cool.
So, you know,
That's
the
very
beekeeper's mask is going to make a big comeback when V. Stiviano
that's
shows
right.
up on clip
That's
next
right.
month.
Was that more of a beekeeper's mask or a welder's mask?
It was more.
I think back in the when it was going on, we called her a beekeeper.
We did call her a beekeeper.
It's kind of a hybrid because the welder's mask has that little slot. You look through.
Ramona Ramona says the woman that plays V. Stiviano absolutely steals the show.
I can't wait for it.
In this thing.
I cannot wait for it. And Al Bundy looks amazing as Donald Sterling.
Sounds like Sterling. I mean, Ed O'Neill did a deep dive.
Jackie Weaver definitely sounds like Shelley.
Oh, of course.
So I've heard Donald Sterling before, but I couldn't tell you what he sounds like. So you're telling me he nails that too.
Oh, yeah.
His body, just the way he moves his body.
And they got
everything.
him looking just like it. And then Lawrence Fishburne looks and sounds a little like Doc.
He does.
And
You were saying that you went to those parties that Donald Sterling threw, right?
When you worked for
the
3
Clippers.
years.
Beyond those interactions, did you interact with him frequently?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
was it always bizarre?
He's the weirdest dude I think I've ever seen. All right, I'll tell you one quick one before we get out of here. So one time, one of my buddies gets married at the Beverly Hills Hotel in the middle of July.
Okay.
Like on July 15th. And as part of his wedding's at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night. All right. Shout out to Steve Leviton at KNBC. That's my buddy who got married. And so Steve and his wife's name is Shelby. We go to their wedding, and it's at 6 o'clock on a Saturday. And in part of the wedding invitation, it says, "Hey, if you guys want to stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel, we've got a wedding rate." And that's where Lisa and I stayed the night we got married. So I said, well, that'd be fun. It's like 10 years later.
Sure.
Well, it was like $200 to stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel. So we get to the hotel at like 6 o'clock wedding. We get there at like 1. And we go out to the pool. And it's 97 degrees. And I'm jumping in the pool every 10 minutes. And the waiter's coming over and he's bringing us iced tea and water and drinks. And it's like, keep your sunscreen on. And I look across the pool and where the bungalows are. And there's a guy in a black suit with the coat on, with a black shirt, black pants, sweating profusely. And he's like holding court for all these young people. And I look over there and the waiter comes by. I go, "Hey, is that Donald Sterling?" He goes, "He's here every week. He buys that cabana. He invites young, attractive people to enjoy his hospitality at the cabana. And yes, he never takes off the suit." He must have lost 5 pounds.
He was like cutting weight for a wrestling match.
Picture the hottest day you ever played
gosh.
golf, and where you're literally
wearing a suit
in a black
and
suit.
put on a black suit, and he just and apparently he went back the next day and did it again.
I hope this series is as exciting as I expect it to be, and then it gets renewed for multiple seasons. Even if we have to drift it into
There
the
you
world
go.
of fiction, like fanfic,
Right,
let's just keep the Donald Sterling dream
I
alive.
think the trailer looks fantastic.
It does. They
It
really,
looks
and I
amazing.
love the
Mason
poster.
and I are doing
with the hand with the two balls.
Yeah, it's great.
Momo's coming over here after the show today,
Nice.
and Mason and I are doing we're going to be part of a 30 for 30 about the Donald Sterling thing.
Yeah.
That's today.
What if
Let's
I told you?
go.
What if
Yeah.
I told you? Exactly.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm super
She's
jealous.
doing like a podcast to get ready for the show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm jealous
Speechless.
all over
You're
again.
speechless
Yeah,
over it.
speechless.
I've
Yeah,
always
nothing to
wanted to
say.
do that. I've
Yeah.
never. What are you going to do?
If you want to come back at 4:15, we'll throw you in with us.
Sure, come on in.
Right. Super Crosstalks brought